I'm totally fine with accepting that. But 10 million
Okay.
more people were in the country undocumented under Trump's administration. So
Okay,
I'm just
we
like,
could say 10 million. They
that's
were
not
already here. I
an
agree.
increase.
I
That's
agree.
not that much of an increase in the
I
population
agree.
size
Totally agree.
of
But
undocumented
they
immigrants in the
deserve their
country.
day in court. Agreed?
Well, I think anyone who's undocumented in the country deserves a pathway to citizenship if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, which would be most
Okay.
people who are in the country undocumented.
So our country's immigration courts, from here until eternity, now are filled for the rest of their lives. I mean, first of all, imagine the influx immediately of how long you would have to wait if your number.
You think law enforcement? You think law
4,672,000.
enforcement agents should be focused on? We should spend a bunch of money into militarizing our law enforcement so that they can be focused on removing people who haven't committed violent crimes and bad crimes from the country. I think that we should be putting our public funds into hiring more judges to make the immigration system go faster, so that we actually have a process that incentivizes us to know who's in the country, right? To be able to have
You would
better
have to
conditions and
hire
safety for people who are
thousands
coming
of
to the
them.
country, right? Overall, better systems. You're advocating just for more of a police state and enforcement.
You would
for
have
things
to
that
hire
actually isn't going to fix
thousands
any of
of
the underlying
judges.
conditions as to why people are coming here in the first place.
Yeah, you'd have to hire thousands of judges. Number one, it would be
That's fine.
insane.
You'd have to hire thousands of different ICE agents.
Yeah. Okay. So number two, what are two reasons?
I would
that
rather
we're-
hire judges than ICE agents.
Okay, I agree.
I
know
would rather
that's what we stand on.
abolish ICE and literally bring in more judges with the money that we can take from that, more judges, so that we can make the process go faster.
Absolutely.
I know you're mad about that, but like it's.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, dude, in San Francisco at one point they were asking families to open their doors and take in some of these people. So I know that you probably got some people there for yourself because you're such a supporter
You're such a
of this
fearmonger.
movement. You've housed some of these undocumented people.
By the way, I think that people should
Well,
be able to. I think that people should be able to come from any other place in the United States to California with no border. Yet it is the case. I don't think they should be able to come stay into my house. You understand? There's a distinction between personal property and the country.
They suggested that.
The country isn't owned by just one person. Okay. It's not your personal property. Your house is your personal property. It's owned by you or your family, right?
You can't say I want
Right, or
illegal
you have
immigration. Then we go,
ownership
we don't
over it
have
if you,
enough
like,
houses.
rent. What's
But
up?
when we say we don't have enough houses, and we go, oh well, maybe they could stay with you because you guys wanted this.
What do you mean?
I want a bunch of people to come here. Oh my God, we don't have enough housing for them. Can they stay with you Americans? Holy
I'm
shit, I
sorry.
don't like this.
You know that we
anymore.
would build. You know that immigrants specifically lead to more housing.
they're gonna
being
build their
built,
own
not only
houses?
because
They're gonna
not only
build
because
their
they
own
build
houses?
houses, but also they provide demand
Yeah.
for more housing, which would then lead to there being more houses in general. You could say the same thing for people
Fighting
having
for it,
children.
man. Keep fighting for it.
Listen, do you think people having children is bad?
No, it depends.
But there's going to be more people. There's going to be more people.
Yeah.
You know
in
what? We're
2008
already at capacity. We cannot have any more children. We're already at capacity.
We damn sure are. We're 36 in literacy across the nation.
Stop having children. We're at capacity.
Chicago just almost closed 100.
Stop having
schools.
children. We're at capacity.
It's the worst fucking impression.
We're at
impersonation ever.
capacity. Stop having children.
In 2008, Parker, the black
Free
community-
abortions for everybody.
we lose 1 million American lives to that one.
Wait,
So,
you think that's better because we're already at capacity?
I want American lives here, sir. Ones that respect our Constitution.
Oh, American. You know that immigrants are also Americans, right?
We're settlers.
You're gross.
Settlers come to a
You're
barren
gross.
land.
I'm sorry. Wait, no, it was
We
not
talk to
barren.
Native
Shut the
Americans.
fuck up, you
We make
disgusting
a
piece
deal-
of shit. Barren? Indigenous Americans existed here and were fucking genocided and mass murdered at huge fucking scales,
Here it comes.
right? And then the land was stolen from them. And you're gonna sit here and you're gonna say it's fucking barren land.
So we
You're
didn't
fucking
make any
disgusting.
deals with
You're
them.
disgusting. You're disgusting, dude. You're gross.
We didn't make any deals with them.
You're gross as fuck.
You can't handle an adult conversation.
No, you can't handle an adult conversation because you have to spread misinformation
I'm
and
sorry,
bullshit.
some land was conquered. All land was conquered,
Yeah.
Parker.
So wait. By
If
the way,
it's
do you
not
think that's justified?
defended,
Do you
it
think
gets
that's justified?
taken.
Do you think that's
There's-
justified?
Fuck justification. It allowed you to be.
What do you mean? Fuck justification. Obviously,
allows
you
you
should.
to speak your
Any
freedoms
normal,
today.
any reasonable human being would say that's fucking gross and disgusting and horrible, and you should be able to say that. The fact that you can't say that is fucking gross and disgusting. Do you hear yourself right now?
You don't have to mute me, go. You can talk.
I do have to mute you because you're a fucking child that doesn't know how to critically think and realize and have any type of compassion for other people. And you sit there and you're like, oh, abortion is wrong because people are dying in this country. Shut the fuck up. Shut
Okay.
the fuck up.
So
You don't care about
when the
indigenous
13
Americans
colonies
that were
came
mass
here-
murdered in this country. You don't give a shit about them. You're just sitting up here trying to justify it on the live stream right now, advocating
No,
that
I'm
there was
saying,
this
I'm
was
sorry,
barren
bad
land and
shit
that they were just
happened, but it
settling
made good
barren
shit
land.
today.
Shut the fuck
I'm
up,
sorry,
dude.
bad shit
Shut
happened.
the fuck up, dude. Shut up, dude. You sound like an idiot.
They cannot debate. They cannot debate.
You mean that? You mean you?
Full
You've
control,
given me nothing of
muting
intellectual
people,
substance on my live
full
yet.
crash outs. Can't accept the past was violent. Can't accept it made America what it is today. As he sits.
Just because something led to America being the way it is now doesn't mean that it was good. You understand? Germany is shaped by its past. That does not mean its past is good. Are you saying its
No one's
past is
saying
good
it
because
is
it shaped
either.
its future?
No one's saying it is or
Yes.
isn't.
Wait. That's exactly what you're claiming.
I'm
You're
saying that
claiming
we
as it being an aspect of it. What the fuck? You're so disgusting.
I'm saying, I'm sorry.
You are a person that doesn't deserve to be engaged with. Genuinely. You are not smart. You're not intellectual. You gave nothing of intellectual substance. All you did was fucking literally literally a fucking whitewashed view of history, which is absolutely fucking disgusting and takes out all of the elements of, people taking accountability for literally what has happened in the United States. It's fucking disgusting. Yo, what's up? How old are you? That's what happens when you have fucking, conservative kids watching PragerU. That's what happens. That's the type of information that they get. It's fucking horrible, dude. Literally, who's been watching PragerU for the past 15 years. That's all he watches. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
42.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
And why is that?
Because of his immigration laws.
Okay. Which immigration laws?
All of them. All of them.
Such as?
You should acknowledge he's doing a great job and stop bringing so much hate. Okay?
Okay. What is he doing that's great?
Oh, well, he's stopped. It's calmed down, hasn't it?
What do you mean by calm down? I actually think it was better that more people were coming to the country. I think the immigration surge that happened under the Biden-Harris administration will lead to an $8.9 trillion increase in GDP, according to the Congressional Budget Office, which is a nonpartisan committee from the federal government. I don't think that things have calmed down. I think that Donald Trump's been undermining due process rights. I think that he's making active threats to our active systems, right, our public institutions. He's denied science. He recently is trying to literally deregulate fucking environmental regulations because he believes that they're not based on good science, even though the literal fucking consensus indicates that climate change is an active thing, and he thinks that the climate is going to start cooling and that science just doesn't know it yet. Right? He actively undermines science, doesn't believe in science, and then undermines environmental regulations that are based on science, and he just left. Okay. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Can you give me just 1 minute to disconnect my Bluetooth?
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
What's your birth year?
2007.
And what month? Do you give it a second for people to join
I
up?
apologize.
Everyone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So what was your birth year?
Oh, I said 2007.
Okay. Okay. I said what month maybe?
June 7th.
June 7th. Okay. So why do you support Donald Trump?
I support his. Let's see. I support him for his. I would say his immigration policy and his. Let's just start with immigration. You can just start with immigration policy.
Okay. What immigration policy?
Mass deportation.
Okay. Why do you like mass deportation? Thank you for the glowing jellyfish. Thank you, Gabriella.
I support mass deportation because it improves national security. So
In what capacity?
it makes sure that it ensures that everybody in the country is legal.
It is really hard to hear you. You're saying it enforces the law. Do you think you're enforcing the law by voting for a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing women that pardoned violent rioters on January 6th? Apparently, pardoning people who have engaged in trespassing and violently assaulting police officers isn't a concern of yours, but apparently it is a concern of yours in terms of deporting people who haven't committed violent crimes and bad crimes.
Why are you pivoting? Like, I didn't even bring that up. I brought up deporting people, and then suddenly you're talking about rioters.
Yeah, and I explained why. Because you're talking about you want to enforce the law, and I said it's not very much enforcing the law to vote for a convicted criminal.
I'm saying enforcing the law in regards of keeping our country safe, not rioters.
Yeah, so are you keeping the country safer by pardoning violent rioters? By voting for a convicted criminal?
Convicted criminal, no.
No. Okay, so then why'd
He's
you...
not Trump is not a criminal.
He is. He's a convicted criminal. He was convicted of 34 felonies.
They're like all the same. I don't know if you looked into the felonies, but they're like all the same. Like the same count.
But he's... Okay, so he's still a felon, right?
It's multiple counts. It's multiple counts of the same felony. So
Sure. Sure. Do you think that he's still convicted?
I haven't looked into that, but I just know it's nothing serious.
So now you haven't looked into it. So how do you know that all the counts are the same? Push the galaxy. Thank you, Katrina.
Why are your fans racist? Like someone just told me to pick grapes. This is the fan base that you support, and
wait, that's fucking gross. Anyone who said that should get fucking blocked in the comment section. They're not a fan of me. I'm confused why you just said that to pivot. Are you support a racist? You literally are voting for a racist.
I wasn't pivoting. I'm telling the truth. Like someone just added me and said that.
Yeah, anyone who said that person should be banned and blocked in the comment section. Why would you assume they're a fan? Just because, wait, you know that MAGA are also in the comment section, right?
It's your fan base, though.
Wait, everyone in the comment section isn't a fan of me. You're in the comment section, right? You disagree with me, right? This is a political live stream. Of course there are people who disagree with me in the comment section. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Arad?
I just told you why I support Trump. I just told you I support mass
And I responded, and it seems like you didn't want to respond to my points.
I did respond. You brought up how he was a felon. I explained to you none of these are harmful felonies. He hasn't
You said you didn't look into it. So what were the felonies? Can you tell me what it was?
Because your claim was that I support a criminal.
What was the felony? When you swipe out of the app, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what were the felonies?
They had to do with money, like money laundering.
Money laundering? No, so it had nothing to do with money laundering. That's and by the way, money laundering is, you think that it would be totally okay for a presidential candidate to money launder? Like, that's just not a concern of you?
I didn't say it was okay. I'm saying it's not harmful.
Oh, yeah. It's just not harmful at all. Why would someone be money laundering?
There's tons of reasons anybody would money launder.
What'd you say?
There could be a ton of reasons, but
yeah, I'm saying, like, in what context do they launder money? Please tell me.
That's not even my argument. I'm saying he doesn't.
No, because you said it's not harmful. So just tell me, in what context do they launder money? When there's something harmful and illegal that's happening, okay? That's the context in which it's to hide illegal activities. So
how is this? Okay, I don't see how this is comparable to. I don't see how this is comparable to sneaking into a country and committing millions of crimes, though.
Coming into a country
I'd rather support, yeah.
Well, I mean, so yeah, you didn't even know what the crime was that you said it wasn't harmful. It was falsification of business records in the first degree, which is a Class C felony in the state of New York. We can also reference the fact that he was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, and he pardoned people like DJ Rodriguez, who drove a stun gun into the neck of a police officer, right, and admitted to it, was convicted of it, and still supports it to this day.
This is nowhere comparable to sneaking into the country and committing millions of crimes. I don't know where you're trying to dig into that when I
What?
came up with the
Going into
argument.
January 6th, going into the Capitol and beating police officers isn't comparable. Yeah, it's
Trump
worse.
did
Yeah,
that?
it's not comparable. You're right. It's worse. It's way
Trump,
worse.
Trump didn't do
It's
that.
not even close in comparison. You're right.
Trump didn't do that.
Trump did. He pardoned violent rioters on January 6th.
You said he actually did that.
Wait, the
not
people
just
who walked
pardon.
into the Capitol who didn't do anything but walk into the Capitol and just looked around, should they have been pardoned?
No, I never said that.
Wait, but they committed crimes. They trespassed into the Capitol.
Not everybody gets pardoned. Isn't that like common knowledge?
What are you talking about? He pardoned like thousands of people. What are you talking about?
That's a minority. Not every criminal is going to get pardoned.
What?
Not every.
All of them. Wait, what is a pardon?
Excusing someone. That's what a pardon is.
Excusing them of what?
A crime that they committed.
Okay, so they were criminals and you excuse them of their crimes. They're all criminals and you excuse them. In order to be able to pardon them, they had to have been a criminal.
Oh my goodness. No shit. I just said that. I just told you that.
I get it. I get that you just said that, and I was just
Where are you
correcting
going
that.
with this?
What's
Where are
up?
you going with this? I just said that.
Yeah, well, okay. So, like, what's the reason why you support Donald Trump then? Because like, it doesn't really seem like it's like because of enforcing the law.
Okay, since you want me to repeat it for like a fourth time, I support Trump because of his mass deportation policy.
Yeah,
which
I
is
know, but
the-
like, it's because you want to enforce the law, right?
No, it's because I don't support people sneaking to the country illegally.
And do you support people sneaking into the Capitol?
I'll just say yes for the sake of the argument because you're just going to circle back to.
What do you
you're just
mean?
gonna
Yes,
circle
for
back-
the sake of the argument. What are you talking about?
I'm saying yes for the sake of the argument because you keep circling back to he did
No,
this.
no.
and he
You could
did
just say no that you don't.
Okay, we see what you're doing. Like you're trying to trap people. I say that.
In their own words, yeah, yeah. And I'm not trapping you. You did it to yourself, and I just pointed it out.
Oh my goodness. I just told you and you keep asking me the same question and I tell you why I support Trump.
Yeah, I know. And then you keep saying you support mass deportation. Okay, can you tell me one way in which mass deportation benefits the country?
National security, like I said.
Okay, and what way does it make the country more? By the way, national security, all those other reasons I brought up, irrelevant. We'll not talk about that. Not relevant, even though those are incredibly pertinent to national security. How are immigrants coming to the country a threat to national security?
I fear this is common sense, but when people come into your country and you don't know who they are, they're free to do anything that they want. And there's no records of them, so you really don't know their intentions or what they plan on doing when they come into the country. So that's one good reason for you.
Okay, if we have no documents of them, wouldn't you want to incentivize them to get documents by providing them a pathway to citizenship? Because otherwise you'll never know who they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then like, wouldn't you want to provide them a pathway to citizenship, given that you wouldn't be able to figure out who they are otherwise?
There is other ways.
Such as?
There's like mass deportation.
Yeah, how do you
ways.
identify who they are? You said you have no documentation on them. We won't be able to find them. How do you identify who they are?
You identify them by letting them go through the legal means.
Oh, so you identify them by having them go through the legal means, so providing them a
Like the
pathway to
legal ports
citizenship.
of entry, the legal ports of entry that
No, they're
everybody
already in the country.
goes through.
They're already in the country. Were you on Dean's
Okay,
Live already?
who's Dean? Like your
Yeah.
friend? No.
Yeah. Okay. You were saying?
I
Oh
I don't
wait.
even remember.
Everyone was saying that you were.
She's rage rating. She was on Dean's live. Yesterday was my first time tuning in. I did not know what you're talking about.
Okay, like I'm gonna expect the entire chat to be wrong? Okay. Especially with the level of overlap between me and Dean's, like viewer base. Like, you know what I mean? Like, um, all right, let me catch up real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, 21.
How old are you?
20.
40?
20.
20?
30.
Okay. All right. Arrows, thank you so much. I appreciate the $100 on YouTube super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for Hey Parker. I'm Native American, and hearing stuff like that from quote unquote Americans really irks me. I love how you educate people on stuff like that. Keep doing that good work. Thank you so much. Give me some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the $100 on YouTube super chat. I really appreciate that. Seriously, thank you so much. W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Libby, thank you for the $10 as well as JB. Thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Seriously, get some W's for all the gifters in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Karsa, thank you for the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Karsa. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Karsa. Erica, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Seriously, his history class did fail him. Darling, thank you so much for the $2. Kate with the $2. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Seriously, W's for all the gifters in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's go on to the next person real quick. Only set a guest request if you meet that set of criteria that I have listed on the screen, everyone. Today's an early live, everyone, meaning I should be live for like 5 hours or so. 5-6 hours. That's how long I'm expecting to be on this morning. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let's go on to the next person real quick, everyone. Also, I'd really appreciate if you like the stream. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
Because I like what the big beautiful bill was doing for small businesses.
Okay. Why do you like the big beautiful bill?
Because there's a lot in it for small businesses.
Such as?
So, like, for instance, if you make a donation, like you do scholarships, if you provide scholarships to like local high schools or like local high school kids, you get a tax, like it's a tax write-off.
That exists regardless.
No, it wasn't. Not before.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't. That was the first I've heard.
The big beautiful bill did not bring that into existence.
Well, it's in there that I guess that it like makes it a permanent thing.
Oh, it was already a thing that existed.
And then if you'll hold on a second, like I have all my notes on it.
Donations have been write-offs for a bit. It's practically
But
as long
it's
as
for
it's just
scholar-
within the
now
United
it's for
States.
scholarships. Now it's for like scholarships, not just donations. It's for scholarships.
I mean, I would love to see the part of the big beautiful bill that applied it specifically in the context of scholarships that didn't exist prior. I'd love to see that. I've never heard that one before.
Hold on, and then I have like all of my notes. Like I took notes on it. So I got to switch in and out of the app, but I can tell you more. Hold on.
All right. Give her a second, everyone. In the meantime, make sure to like the stream. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. It helps get it out to more people. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up.
One other thing, it's not. I mean, this.
You cut out.
Businesses, but you get a tax deduction if you buy like an American-made car.
You said what?
You get a tax deduction if you buy an American-made car.
Okay.
That was one thing I really liked.
Okay. I'm confused what you're Can you tell me,
And
like,
then
by made car, do you mean every aspect of the process is made in America, or it's just assembled in America?
I think it's like an American made car, so like Ford, Chevy,
Oh,
GMC.
oh, okay. So by American made, you just mean assembled in America.
Yeah.
Okay, well then couldn't they just like put on something at the very end and say made in America, and you get a tax credit?
I mean, Chevys aren't made in China, they're made in Detroit, Michigan.
No, I'm just saying, like, couldn't you just under your own policy just put like one little thing at the very end onto it, say it was made in America, and then you get a tax credit?
I'm sure you'd have to show that the car is like a Ford or a Chevy.
Why does so other companies don't get it? Only Ford and Chevy?
Or Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler. Like if they're the made in America, like American made cars.
And again, if they just put like one little thing on it and they say it's made in America, is that mean it's made in America?
No, because like Toyota is based out of China or Japan. Hyundai, those are Kia. Those are not made in America. They might have plants made in America.
No,
Like
I'm
I
just
know
saying
Honda
how
has a
much of the
plant.
how much of the good has to be made in America? Like the materials aren't made in America.
I think it has to be made in America.
Okay. You also know that Toyota does have development
Plants in
in the
America.
United
Yes,
States.
I know.
Yes.
Yes, I know. And Honda does too. Yes, I know that. But I think it's to increase like people to buy Chevys and Fords and Dodges and
Okay. So like, if you want to talk about like, you want to incentivize people to buy from the United States, will there be more buying in the United States if we didn't have a reduction in the real GDP in the first quarter of 2025 because of the tariffs that Trump implemented?
I mean, those tariffs are supposed to incentivize companies to come back to America and to be making products in America and opening plants in America, right? And I've heard a
Then
couple. I mean, I'm
why
no
has
expert
domestic
in it.
manufacturing investment declined since Trump became president then?
But, were the tariffs in place?
Yes,
I mean, why? I mean, if they're going to have to go and I don't.
some have been. Some
I mean,
were
and
put
then
in
have
place, then they were taken away, then they were put back. Some were put back in place, others not yet.
I don't know. Like, I am not going to pretend that I'm an expert economist. Like, I just told you the things that I liked from the bill. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm
Okay, can I ask you a
like.
question then? Would you support the
Sure.
bill if it decreased after-tax income for the bottom 20% of income earners?
Say that again. If it what
Would you
decreased?
support
What?
the bill if it decreased after-tax income for the bottom 20% of income earners? It reduced
I
for
mean,
the
well,
bottom 10% their after-tax income by $1,200 a year.
like what? I mean, if there's more positive in it than negative, I mean, like let's face it, there's not
So
going to be
you'd be
one piece
okay
of
with taking
legislation
from the
that is
poorest
like.
Americans and giving to the richest Americans? You'd be okay with that? That sounds like reverse Robin Hood and Robin Hood for the rich. Taking money from the poor, giving to the rich.
But what else? I mean, is who else is going to benefit from it? I mean, if it's going to overall, I mean, if it's going to, like I said, like bring people, incentivize people to buy American made things and there's tax breaks for small business owners, then then I would be for it because, those people are business owners that are trying to make a living too. Like, I mean, and I know a lot of, it's close to home because I know a lot of people that own small businesses. So they failed under Biden. They were failing.
Okay. What did Biden do to cause small business to fail?
Well, I mean, I know the president doesn't cause inflation, but inflation was not helping them.
Okay, so then
And
what did they do that caused the situation to not be good for small business?
like I said, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert economist. I'm not even going to say like I know what caused everything. Like I'm not an expert economist. I
But then
just
why do you
know.
believe things based on this? Because all the expert economists indicated that Harris's plan would have been better than Trump's. All the expert economists indicate that Donald Trump is horrible for the economy. I mean, like that's what practically every expert economist is saying. So if you say you're not an expert economist, you can't determine this. Well, then let's look what the expert economists are saying.
But there's a lot. They were supporting, a lot of my small business friends were supporting the big beautiful bill because there was a lot in there for them. Like you don't have to fill out like 1099 forms if you make over $600. It's under 20,000 now. Like, and a lot of people, I know some, moms
Where
out
did they
there like
change that to
sell.
20? I don't think they did change that to
Yeah, they did.
20,000. I'd
Yeah, they
like to
did.
see.
So you don't have to fill out a 1099 form if you make under 20,000. It used to be 600, and I know, I even have some like
Can you
mom
wait?
friends.
Hold on. Are you just saying because of the standard deduction?
No, it was in the bill. They changed that. So like now you don't have to fill out a 1099 form. They did change it where you have to fill one out if you make more than $600. And now you don't have to fill it out if you make under 20,000. And I know, like, I have some moms that are like stay-at-home moms, and they make like t-shirts and whatnot on Etsy and sell them and all that good stuff, and they were having to fill them out because they were making more than $600. But now they don't, because they don't make 20,000, but they make more than 600.
It's from this is 2026. It's not. Hold up. This is 2026. It's from to 2000. It's not 20,000.
What was it?
Um, hold up. 2025 is 2,500. This wouldn't even be in place yet. Not even close. Aggregate payments exceed 20,000. So all it is categorizing it based upon the standard deduction.
Right. I mean, and now you don't have to fill it out.
That's the same thing that existed prior. Like you would get a standard deduction, you wouldn't pay tax.
But they were making you fill them out, a 1099 form. They were making you fill them out if you made over $600.
Sure. Yeah, it just says gig economy workers might receive fewer 1099K forms. If you want to reduce the burden of taxation on people, we can mandate taxes. Like through the government, we can automate them, mandate and automate.
Right. I just
like how they've done in other countries that we don't even have. They already know how much we need to pay. Like the fact that we even have to do this in the first place is ridiculous. But so I mean, I wouldn't dispute that, but that's not a reason to support the bill overall. Given that it is going to take over 10 million people off their health insurance, it's going to cut 2.5 million people off their food stamps on average every month. It's going to decrease after-tax income for the bottom 20% of income earners, for the bottom 10% by $1,200 a year, and it's going to add $3.4 trillion to the debt. So those aspects of the bill are so bad that you should support it. Now, are there certain aspects of the bill that we think that are good? Yeah, sure.
How are they getting kicked off, or how are they going to lose their benefits?
They're changing work requirements, specifically making them harsher to be able to accommodate to.
But it's able-bodied people. There are
people who are disabled who are going to be negatively impacted by this because they don't qualify for disability quite yet, or they haven't because the process takes a long time.
And they still won't lose them. Like I had a whole thing of it. Like my friend gets.
Please show me. Like I don't see any good reason to say that they would receive it prior to the fact that they get it.
They're not. If you have exceptions, so you have medical. They have medical exceptions.
Yeah, but that's once you qualify for disability. If you haven't qualified for disability yet because it takes long to go through the system, well then you wouldn't be under disability insofar as that you would be able to get access to it.
And they don't just have to work. They either have to be volunteering.
Wait, why would you volunteer 20 hours just for health insurance? That doesn't make any sense. You're saying they should have to work 20 hours in a week specifically for health, in a month or 20 hours in a week for health insurance?
I mean, if they're able-bodied, they should be contributing something.
You're not listening. I said specifically people who have disabilities will be negatively impacted by this because they haven't qualified for disability yet. Because it takes time to get to qualify for disability.
And if they're disabled, they'll be exempt from the work requirements.
They will be exempt once they qualify, right?
Right.
Yeah, but they haven't qualified yet because it takes a long time because it's.
And what are they doing in the meantime? What are they doing in the meantime?
If they're not able to work and they're disabled, what should they do if they can't work?
I mean, how are they getting, what were they doing before they were getting benefits? Like, that's what I'm asking you.
I'm sorry. I'm saying I just told you they can't work.
Okay, they can't work and they don't have benefits yet. What would they be doing in between that time? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they do. Like, I don't know. I mean, they got to be doing something. They got to be getting food somewhere between the transition time, during the transition time, right?
It would have to be through the government or through family members, right?
Right.
Okay. Or
I mean,
people
that
are
hasn't
providing for
changed.
them.
You still have to.
So otherwise they would be suffering and starving. So you understand that, like, we're trying to advocate for systems that help everyone. I'm giving you a circumstance where someone doesn't have the ability to work. They don't have family to take care of them. They can't work. They would lose food stamps because they don't qualify for disability yet, under your view.
But even the food stamps, they have exemptions. So, like, if you are disabled, like if you can't work, like they have medical exemptions. They have it, like if you are dependent on somebody else, like if you have if you have to care for dependents, like they have all of that in there. Even for the food stamps, they have exemptions. I've seen it. I mean, I don't have it
if
with me.
you have
I've
already
seen it.
qualified for disability, and if you haven't
No,
already qualified
even
for
food stamps. Even food stamps.
I know. I'm saying the exemption you're saying is that if you are disabled, right?
No, I'm talking about even to collect food stamps.
Yeah.
If you don't have to meet the work requirement. It's only for able-bodied people. Period.
Yeah, and how do you
So
identify whether or not someone's able-bodied?
If they don't have a disability.
Yeah, so
If
they
they
qualify for
don't
disability,
have-
right? They either qualified for disability already or they don't qualify for disability already, right?
Right, and if they don't
Okay,
don't
so I'm going to tell you one more time. They haven't qualified for disability yet. The system takes a while. They can't work. Should they lose their food stamps and Medicaid?
No, but you won't have to just
No?
you won't have to go get on disability. You won't, if you don't meet the requirement, like you won't have to go, okay, I'm getting food stamps, now I have to go get disability. That's not how it's going to work. You'll still have separate, like, I just need help with groceries, or I just need help with my medical expenses, but I'm not on disability. Like, you'll still have the different systems. You're like, I mean, I don't. Maybe the way you're wording it.
So you're saying it won't be taken away from you, and I'm telling you the reason why it will be taken from them is because they haven't quite yet qualified for disability, and that's the way under your policy, in which you would provide the exception, is if someone qualifies for disability.
No.
What? That's what we just talked about. We just had that conversation.
Maybe I'm not understanding your question.
That's exactly what's happening.
But I do know there are people. I do know that there are people out there that just get food stamps, and they have. If you're able-bodied, then you have to work, or volunteer, or be enrolled in some type of training, like education, school. And there are exceptions. So if you are unable to work, if you have a medical issue, if you have like transportation issues,
understand.
You are in them. They have all of that.
In order to prove that you meet that set of qualifications, you have to qualify for disability, right? In this context, they don't qualify for disability quite yet.
You don't have to qualify for disability for it to get those. You can still
how else would you get it? You just claim?
Well, I mean, you'd obviously have to show proof, like from a doctor or something, like, hey, I'm unable to work, like I have a medical condition or whatever it is.
So if a doctor has to indicate this? No, there's nowhere in the bill that says this, by the way. You're making this up.
No, I'm not. Like, I've seen the... Like, I mean, I don't really care.
There's nowhere in the bill where it says you can just go to a doctor, or the doctor says this and that happens. And then also, what about people who can't afford to go to the doctor?
Hold on. I don't want to say, I mean, I know everybody in your comments, they're really rude. Like, they can be really mean sometimes, but like, we qualify for food stamps with my family. But and I'm not, there are exemptions. It said it on the back of our papers that like if you, for food stamps, just for food stamps, that like if you have to care for kids, if you're like you have a dependent, if you have transportation issues, if you have a medical thing, you don't have to, you don't qualify for the,
I'm sorry.
you're exempt.
So you're on food stamps yourself?
Yes, yes.
And why do you want to cut other people off food stamps?
I don't want to, but
Well,
like I'm able-bodied. I
You're
don't have a
supporting the big
disability,
beautiful
so
bill,
I
even
should.
wait, you're supporting
I
the big
should
beautiful
be.
bill, even though it cuts 2.5 million Americans per month off of food stamps, the very thing you're benefiting from.
It's like I don't want to be on them. I don't want to be on them. I'm on them until I get a job.
And that's true for other people as well, but they
And I
need
don't
them.
want to be on them.
Wait, I
They're
understand, but
supposed to
and
be.
that's true for other people as well, but that they need them. That's the point. It's not that people want, it's that people need. Okay?
Right. But I'm saying like I'm
The idea that it's just that people want, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, people deal with judgment and societal stigma specifically for utilizing food stamps. All right, people don't want to deal with that societal stigma. They don't want to deal with people viewing them in that type of way. And it is the case that they oftentimes, right, will, because of that, want to be able to work even harder to be able to get out of that. Now, that it is the case that in these types of circumstances, that we have to be able to be very clear in understanding that this is not because people just desire to have things paid for them. It's because they need it. It's a safety net for people who need it. Now, sure, are there some people in the world that will utilize food stamps just because they want it to be paid for free? Sure. That's going to be a very small portion of people because it's not like you're getting a lot. Right, but it is the case that it should be there for people who need it, regardless. Moira,
right.
thank you
No,
so
no,
much for
no.
$5. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for $10. Thank you, Katie.
Like I do know that I know that there are people out there that take like advantage of the system. Like I get it, and they give it a bad name. Like I get it. I mean, it's supposed to be a hand up, not a hand out. And so, but there are exceptions to the work requirements if you're receiving food stamps, because they're on the back of my sheet that when you turn it over and it gives you all the information, it tells you like the work requirements, but it's only for able-bodied people. So like me, who doesn't have a disability, I either have to be working 40 hours, which I'm working on, or going to school or volunteering.
Can you repeat to me what I've been telling you about the work requirements? Because I think I've said this multiple times. And it's maybe either that you're not understanding what I'm saying or you're just blatantly choosing not to listen.
No, I understand what you're saying. There are people that haven't qualified for disability, and they're going to lose their benefits.
And yet they still are disabled, and they'll lose their benefits.
But
under
if you're
this policy.
right
So
now,
given that that's the case, would you say that you don't support the bill? You think it shouldn't have been passed?
No, because I know what I don't. I don't know what like yours is not. I don't know yours is not right. Like that's not what I'm. That's not right.
I'm wrong.
You can
How am I
get
wrong?
them because you can still like get food stamps without being on disability. And you're not, if you are disabled, you can go, or you have a medical condition, you can go to a doctor. They will, vouch for you, whatever it is, whatever the requirements are. And you're not going to have
You
to
don't
work.
know what
and
the
you're not gonna lose your
requirements are, and
benefits.
you're telling me
You're
that
not
I'm
gonna-
wrong about the requirements?
I haven't dug deep enough because I don't.
So then how am I wrong about the
I don't
if you haven't
need
dug
the
deep if you haven't dug Dimmadome deep enough, right, in order to be able to provide like any type of relevant information about it, then obviously I would be able to provide more relevant information, correct?
I mean, I'm sure you're going to have to, if I was to say that I can't work or be doing those things, I would have to show like proof and documentation of it. Like, I mean, that's for anything, that you get through the government, you have to show proof and documentation, right?
Okay, so again, like you would say that you think that there should be other sets of conditions, right, other than the ones that exist currently through the context of the Big Beautiful Bill. Then why would you support the Big Beautiful Bill, knowing it's going to cut off your fellow Americans who are in need of food, right, in getting access to food?
Because I know it's not. Like, I know it's not. Because there are exceptions to, and you'll still receive them. Like, I know there's not.
I can't. There's
I know you won't.
so by the way, there's not going to be one single person that loses access to food stamps and Medicaid that needed it and was disabled and couldn't get access to it because they are disabled and don't qualify yet. That's not a single person.
If you're disabled, you'll still get it because you'll just show that you're disabled.
So answer my question. There's not a single person in America that isn't getting access to it because it is a case that they're disabled.
I mean, I can't say that there's not, but
okay. So then why the hell do you keep saying that to me when I bring this up?
Because if they have medical exemptions to receiving their food stamps,
I get it.
Just because
I get it. But like the idea is that
they're still gonna get it.
The idea is that, again, this is going to, any of these types of restrictions are going to limit people who do need it from getting access to it. That's the point I'm making. So if you agree with me that you are going to be cutting off many people that do need it, then why would you support it?
Because I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think they're going to.
So you think that there's not a single person getting kicked off that deserves access to it?
I don't think they're going to kick the people off that need it.
Okay, so again,
I think the ones that won't get it would be the ones that are just doing nothing, not working, and they don't have a reason not to be, like, type of thing. Like,
I'm like, it's like, this is getting brutal. This is like trying to mine bedrock in Minecraft.
Like, I support the able-bodied people that have nothing wrong with them, that should be either working, volunteering, or going to school and training. Like, that I support.
Okay. So like, let's talk about this. So again, do you agree there's going to be at least one person that does deserve access to it that is going to lose access to it?
There might be, yeah. But that's the case with everything. I mean, they deny people stuff every day.
Can I get a specific answer to the question?
Sure, there might be. Sure.
Yes.
There might be one.
There might be.
It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. Fine. Okay.
So then would you agree that, given that there are some people that are going to be harmed by this, right, because they were going to lose access to Medicaid and food stamps, that you probably wouldn't agree with the bill being passed?
But again, like I said, there's more in it than just that.
How about
that
this?
I support.
How about this? If the bill said that they're going to cut no one off of Medicaid and food stamps but the mom on the live stream, Beachy Mom, in that circumstance, you're telling me that you would support the bill?
Like, if there was more positive?
It's just one person being kicked off.
There's more positives. Like, if there's more positive and the positive outweighs the negative, then yeah. And if more people would benefit from it.
So you would vote to cut your own. Why would you vote to cut your own food stamps?
Because it's not just about me. Like, there are people out there that also own a business.
By the way, she says it's not just about her, while simultaneously supporting a bill that takes from the poorest Americans and gives to the richest Americans. Right? Like, dude, if it's not supposed to be about just one person, then why are you trying to benefit rich people?
So what was Harris's thing for small businesses? What was she going to do for them? Or what did Democrats want to do for small businesses? Because that's a big thing for me. That's a huge important thing for me, because a lot of my family members own small businesses. So I want to know what Democrats' plan was for small businesses.
Yeah, there was a $50,000 startup deduction for small businesses starting off.
Okay, what else? Was that it?
That was that's a pretty fucking big point. That's the main one for what's it called? For corporations and businesses. Otherwise, I would just say that they create a strong consumer market, a stronger consumer market than what would exist for Trump, meaning that your business would profit more.
Like the small business or the bigger?
Yeah, small businesses will have more business, more people buying from them, because it is the case that there's a better consumer market. No tariffs, right? Better consumer market, right, for you to have your goods bought. So that's going to be beneficial to small businesses, because small businesses rely on imports from around the world.
And then I know the bill. Hold on, there's more.
You cut out. I can't hear you currently. Ashley, thank you so much for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Ashley. Give me some W's for Ashley in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Ashley. I really appreciate it. Claudia, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. Chloe, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. They said it took my mom almost 2 years to get on disability with a broken neck and back and couldn't work. What
There
she's
was also
saying is so ignorant, it hurts.
There was one for small businesses. They were doing the deduction from 20% to 23%. That was another one in it too.
Say that again?
In the big beautiful bill with the small businesses, like I said, that's the main reason I supported it, is because it had a lot for small businesses, and they increased the deduction from 20% to 23%.
That's incredibly small comparative to the $50,000 starting investment, because that helps keep businesses afloat in situations where they need it. And also, it's going to be worse, right, for you when you have tariffs in place, when you have a worse consumer market, when you have lower amounts of jobs that are coming into place. That's affecting small business. Do you think that small businesses aren't the ones that are able to increase the amount of jobs, because it is the case that we have a lower amount of jobs increasing in the job market? Like, that affects small businesses. That's actually showing of small businesses being impacted. So again, if you want better conditions for small businesses, the market will be better off with Kamala Harris in the position of presidency than Donald Trump. Donald Trump being in the position of presidency has made it so much worse for small businesses. It makes no sense to support a policy that cuts your fellow Americans off of conditions, in basic things that they need, right? To give massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires because you think that it's going to possibly give a help to small businesses. I think that's ridiculous. Small businesses are getting crushed and killed under Donald Trump's policies.
They were, to me, like, now they're all seem to be doing a little bit better, and they were all in support of this bill.
Who?
But all of the little small business people I know, and there's a whole like community of them where I live, where they kind of all get together and discuss like legislation that's going to be impacting their small business, and they were all in favor of it. So there was a good 200 or so people, and they meet like once a week, and they get together and they discuss the legislation that is impacting
all
the
in favor of harming their fellow Americans, right, and worsening economic conditions. Like, seriously, they don't understand economics. I have a degree in economics, right? Top major economists indicated that Harris's plan was significantly better. The small businesses are not going to be better off. There could be people who are small business owners that believe they would be better off under Trump's policy. They're not right. They're wrong, and they're going to fuck around and find out that they were wrong.
I mean, they were a mix of, but it's not just Republicans that were meeting together. It was like some were Democrats, some were independent, some were conservative.
By the way, Democrats saying that they support that bill would be ridiculous. I would love to speak to a single Democrat that supported that bill.
I'll see if I can get them on here, but like, I don't even know if they have TikTok, but I can try to get them on, like, and see if they'll request stuff.
Yeah. Democrats going to support cutting people off food stamps and Medicaid. Yep.
That's what
y'all can have them. Y'all can have them. If they're a Democrat, they claim to be a Democrat, and they want to cut people off Medicaid and food stamps, you can have them.
I don't know. We're small businesses were important to us. Like, that's a big thing for us.
Yeah, and small businesses will be worse off because of Trump's economic policy. There's actually not even good reason to believe that small businesses would be better off because of Trump.
I hope you're wrong, but that's all we can do is find out.
You hope I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong.
They say that's why I'm telling you that. They say a lot of things, and you just got to wait and see how they play out and how things play out.
You just want to you're willing to screw over the country without knowing how it's going to work. Maybe you shouldn't support a policy that you have no clue how it functions.
You can't. Is any policy going to be perfect? No. Somebody somewhere.
But if you don't know if a policy functions or not, if you don't have any clue on whether or not it could be effective, right, at all, then you don't want to try it on such a federalized scale, right, to the same type of degree, unless you've had at least some small scale examples pointing towards it being effective.
I mean, there's not. I mean, there's more in it in that bill than that. That was just one aspect I liked, and that was, the big one for me was the deductions and stuff for small businesses. That was it.
Even though small businesses are more negatively impacted based upon everything I just talked about.
I don't think they're going to be, because right now they're
I,
thriving.
but
They're
I
back to
literally, no, they're not. Small businesses are not doing great right now.
well, the ones in my area are.
I understand that just specifically to your area. Real GDP growth has gone down in terms of how much it was going up. Unemployment has gone up. The jobs report was so bad recently that Donald Trump fired, right, the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because he said it was politically biased information.
And why was there information floating around that there was supposed to be like it was like a 5.2% GDP growth like over long term with this bill? Like that's what I was.
There's no good evidence indicating that at all.
That's what I had.
Yeah, so is there any evidence? Is there any evidence, or do you just believe it because someone said it? Like, because you don't believe things when I say it. Like, if I would love if you would accept things like that when they came from my mouth. Like, seriously, like I just don't understand. Like, why do you accept it word of mouth in those circumstances, but whenever I say it, like, nope.
No, I don't not believe you. Like, I mean, that's why I can't. I requested it. So first of all, I could tell you what I like and what I supported, and then get your perspective. Like, I thought that's what these were for, but.
Mm-hmm. But no, do you at least understand like where I'm coming from?
Yes, I understand where you're coming from. And I mean, like I said, I would hate to see people lose stuff. Like, I don't want anybody's small businesses to fail. Like, I don't want that. So I know you don't believe in it, but I'll pray that things don't go as badly as people are projecting them to. I hope not.
Okay, so like, is there any way anyone can convince you out of supporting this?
Possibly, if I,
What could you
give me some
explain a
more.
possible way?
If you give me some more, like where I can, what are some resources I can go read up on myself? Go read up on it. Like, what resources do you recommend then?
Yeah, so in terms of the Big Beautiful Bill, I've told you everything I think you need to know specifically about the Big Beautiful Bill. You can go specifically and read the bill in specific if you'd like. But I
Okay.
mean, I just genuinely like I don't know how you could hear the information I provided you and still think that the bill is good.
I'll weigh on it and think about it for sure.
For sure.
Uh,
All right.
you know,
Anything else
that's
you'd like
what
to talk about or add before I go on to the next person?
No, that's it. Thank you.
For sure. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. As well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat as well. Also in the pinned comment here on YouTube. Also, make sure to like the stream if you're on YouTube. Tap that screen if you're on TikTok. Let's try to get to 1 million likes here on TikTok. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to like the stream. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes, everybody. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. Alrighty, let's go to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, do I have to be 18?
Yep. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I am 64.
What's your birth year?
I love you, Parker. Have my babies.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. Alrighty, let's go to the next person real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Yo, it's a pal to you. Alright, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request again if you do support Donald Trump. Yo, it's a pal to you. Yo, it's a pal to you. Alright, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, it's a pal to you.
21.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
I think it's really a matter of like I will admit to you that there are a lot of things that obviously I don't support. I'm not like some full blown MAGA, but I think when it came down to it, it's a matter of not being a fan of Kamala, one, and two, just aligning with more things that I feel like culturally, or like the Republican side aligns with.
Such as?
Such as, I think there's a lot of things when it comes to wokeness or
Can you define woke?
like what my definition of woke is.
Yeah,
I
what
think
does woke
is,
mean?
to me, woke is cancel culture, people coming for people's throats, and I think a lot of that. I mean, I'm sure I'm definitely on both sides.
So kind of what MAGA did to Mike Pence.
I mean, yeah, MAGA definitely did not.
So MAGA's too woke, chat. Can we get some MAGA? MAGA's too woke, everyone. MAGA is getting too woke out here. They're suppressing anyone that goes against the movement. Mike Pence literally just said that Donald Trump puts himself over the Constitution, and they had to cancel him. Get him out of there. Get him out.
I would say that there's a lot of things that are, again, wrong on both sides, and canceling happens on both sides. But I think we both know what I refer to when I mean that there was a certain way that looked like we were going down that I personally don't align with. Whether that was, whether that was like, I just felt like there's a lot of people going for people's throats, and I feel like that was primarily.
So then do you agree that's true with Trump? So then you're saying Trump is too woke, right?
No, I'm not saying Trump is too woke.
Because,
I'm saying.
Okay, so do you agree with him cutting off Mike Pence like that?
I actually think that we can both agree that, like I said, I'm reasonable. I think we can both agree that Trump gets rid of people who feels like is not good for him anymore. Which, whether you think it's good or not, I think all politicians are shitty. I think all politicians are when it comes there. At the end of the day, they will do what they need to do. People are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it, whether you're fans of them or not. I'm not somebody, like I said when I got here, I'm not somebody that supports everything that Trump stands for or says. Like we can all agree, he says some pretty silly shit. But I think when the election, when I voted for him, to me he was the better candidate, and that's just in fact. I think we're being honest. That's probably what a lot of people.
Why is he the better candidate?
I think he was better well spoken. I think he had more experience than Kamala. I think he just felt there was the votes don't lie, the numbers don't lie. I felt that he was better qualified for the job, and that's just.
Yeah, so let's go with this. Better qualified for the job. Here, can I ask you a few questions? How was he? You think he was more well spoken? Do you actually think that? You cut out. When you swipe out of the app, I can't hear you.
Sorry. What your question was? How was he more well spoken?
You actually think that Donald Trump is more well spoken?
I think Donald Trump doesn't use words that just sound nice and stuff that he was given by his team. I think when he's put in front of a microphone, he says agreed, he says some pretty stupid stuff, but I think none of it is pre-rehearsed, recorded. I think it was very obvious. And again, you can come at
Yeah,
me.
so he doesn't.
all you
So he
want
doesn't
for-
study. So he doesn't study, is what you said.
No, what I said was you can come at look. You can say, oh, what I'm saying is this and that. There's a reason when it came down to it. There's a reason why he beat Kamala so bad.
Yeah,
And that-
why is that? You said he's quote unquote well spoken.
People
Do you want me to
felt-
play
that was
multiple
one
clips
of
of
my
him being
points.
quote unquote well spoken?
That was one of my points. My other points was people felt he was more qualified for the job, and that's just simply a fact.
By the way,
I mean-
when I put pressure on the idea that you think he's well spoken, there's no basis in that, and then you just pivoted back to saying he's better qualified.
No, I didn't-
So
it's
are
not
you
a pivot,
conceding? Are you conceding that he's not well spoken?
I'm not conceding as well.
Okay, so
It
then
was
why are we
part of
pivoting
my
over
whole
to
point.
being
It was
qualified? We
part of
can
my-
talk about qualifications in a second. Tell me
not
why do you think
I'm
he's
not-
well spoken?
I'm not pivoting back. My original point was the qualification. Then I said,
Oh my God.
because-
Okay, fuck it. I'll just ask you a question about it. Name one qualification that Donald Trump has that Kamala Harris doesn't.
he's former president of the United States.
Okay, so are you telling me that you would vote for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump because she had qualifications and he didn't?
No.
Okay, so you didn't give a shit about qualifications in 2016. You didn't give a flying fuck about that. Not only is Kamala Harris more qualified than Donald
Well,
Trump,
I couldn't vote in
but it is the
2016,
case that I'm
but-
saying if you could go back in time right now and you could either vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton had significantly more qualifications than Donald Trump. In that circumstance, who would you vote for?
I vote for Donald Trump.
Can you get out of the wind as well?
Sorry. I vote for Donald Trump. And again, I see your point. I do, but I do think that in some aspect, hypothetical questions we could just go in circles and ask a bunch of them. I think what I'm just being honest. Like I said, the votes didn't lie. People felt like he was better for the job than Kamala. Maybe they were wrong.
In
But
what way? What way is he more qualified?
Dude, are we gonna act like whenever she hopped in on an interview, she didn't just sound like she was like a sound biting, and it was like they would edit 60 minutes like to make her sound better. They would she couldn't.
Every
you
60
wouldn't
minutes
go
is edited, you fucking idiot. Every 60 minutes is edited. In 2020, when Donald Trump was on 60 Minutes, it was edited. Why didn't Donald
First of
Trump go
all-
on 60 Minutes in the very first place?
Well, let me ask, why, fucking idiot? Like, why? I didn't say that.
Why?
To you.
Because it's honestly stupid that at this point there are still these lies going around about how they are only editing it just to make her look better as reasons to dispute her being a candidate that is more qualified than Donald Trump. And literally, when it is the case that that's just been proven false over and over again, consistently.
I can understand that, but at the same time, me saying that, if I'm wrong, I'm not lying. I'm not spreading lies. I would just have been wrong, which maybe I am. But either way, my original point for that was, are we going to act like that every time she hopped in an interview, it didn't seem just kind of like very shallow and like it would just kind of hit certain beats. Like this is why she wasn't able to grab that group of people, that percentage, because it just people felt like they didn't really know her. And maybe that's what I mean when I say the word qualification. Maybe that's what I mean. But
you just didn't know who
people
she
felt
was.
like they
That's not
didn't know her.
qualifications. That's just you didn't know
Right,
who she
so
was
that's what I
because you
just
didn't
said.
do the research. You had 107
It's not
days to do
me.
research.
Again. It's not just me. But it's
Yeah,
not just
there's
me.
a bunch of other people in
numbers.
America that didn't do research. Yeah.
So you just think everybody in America is just uneducated and that's why you won?
There's a lot of people in America that are uneducated, didn't care to do research, and literally just assumed that she wasn't qualified because she's a black woman. Yeah.
I don't actually believe that race has that much to do with it, if we're being honest. I genuinely, I think it has to do with the interviews, what we saw from her. We saw Trump, right? We saw him for so many years, 2016.
I mean,
whatever.
no one said this about Donald Trump when he was running. Oh, what
Because-
are his qualifications? Oh, he's not qualified.
We knew who he was.
I don't
We knew-
support
we knew
him
we were
because he's
getting-
not qualified. They never said this
We knew
with
we
any
were
other
getting-
candidate. They specifically decide to do this whenever it's Kamala Harris. Like, they didn't do this with
We
Hillary
knew-
Clinton. They
Well,
didn't do
actually,
this with
to
Bill
answer
Clinton.
her-
Name one other presidential candidate they've ever done this with.
Well, like I said,
I'm
it
serious.
is.
Name one.
No. I'll tell you, it's none, and that's the reason. The reason for this
So then why
is
are they
because,
just doing it specifically with Kamala Harris?
like I said,
Yeah, you could
it's
maybe say Obama, by the way. That's like the only other
it's
person you could say.
I mean, she came in late to the election, right? So this added on to the narrative that I'm telling you of we didn't feel like we knew who she was, and every time we did, every time I watched an interview, I watched a debate. She did pretty good in the debate. I admit that, 100%. She smoked him in the debate, but when it came down to it, I think the reason why he won easy was because we didn't know that much about her. Her interviews, there wasn't much substance, and that's just it. At least with Trump, whether he says good things or bad things, whatever, you knew what you were getting because he doesn't keep his mouth shut, right?
Can you
So we
tell me
knew-
a Trump economic policy he influenced to get passed that you like?
I like the big beautiful bill. I think it benefits America. I think it
Name
benefits
one
us.
provision within the big beautiful bill that benefits America.
The fact that American businesses like manufacturing stuff like that are getting like it is staying in America. It is America
Domestic
based.
manufacturing has declined since Trump became president. Manufacturing investment has declined. Do you want me to show you?
You can show me it.
Okay. All right, here we are. I'm turning it on right now. There we are. Boom. Do you see? Since he became president, you see right here, it declined. This is his presidency. Decline.
Why is there a blue? Why is the blue going up though? What's that?
This is Biden.
No, because I'm only asking because it's kind of zoomed
This
in.
is
so I
this is
can
when
actually-
Trump got in office, by the way. This is when Trump got in office.
Okay.
This is when he left,
Okay.
right here. This is when
Sure.
Biden got in office,
Okay.
and this is when Biden left.
Okay. So can you move the image over so I can see the rest of it? Because it's just getting cut off.
I
Just give me a-
apologize. Do you see everything now?
I see. Yeah. So and then yeah. Okay. And then so
Okay.
what? It's going down. Where is it?
Okay, so this is where Trump, when he first got in office in his first term, right here.
Yeah. Huh?
Technically, you could say here. This is when he gets into office. This is when he leaves. Right here.
What's up, man?
This is when actually this is when he leaves, but this is when Biden gets in office, and then this is when Biden leaves. And then
Yeah,
this is
I see it.
Trump. So there was decline under his first administration, and now there's decline again. And there was increase under Biden by a lot, by a massive and huge margin, which brought us back like a lot. So I mean,
So let me-
that's an important thing. If you care about domestic manufacturing, you would support Biden and Harris.
Okay. It's fair. Let me ask you something though. Just say, take a step out of it. Other than people like your explanation of people being uneducated or whatever, or like haven't done the research or whatever. Like, are we like gonna sit here and say that like the Biden presidency was like a success?
Yeah, comparative to Trump, yeah. I mean, there are things I disagree with in terms of Biden's administration, but he was definitely better than Trump, for sure. Like, they did a lot of good things. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan. I can point to a bunch of policies that I think are great, and I can point to the exact reasons why I think they're good.
Fair. You're pretty good, Parker. You're pretty good at this stuff.
It's
Yeah.
also just like facts. Like, you know what I mean? Like I used to be a Trump supporter, and I acknowledge facts, and I changed my mind because I acknowledge facts, right? And you can do the same, and that's why I do these types of lives, is because I know that when I show people facts and evidence, there's gonna be a lot of people that change their mind. Sure, there's some people out there that aren't gonna change their mind. Disproportionately true on the lives because of the likelihood of people coming up who are like just confident without reason and have the Dunning-Kruger effect applicable to them. But a lot of people come up on the live, a lot of people, listen to the live and they change their mind because they hear this information. And that's exactly why I do what I do.
Well, that's good because you know what? Like, honestly, dude, like I watch this thing because I just sit here at work and like it's interesting to me. I mean, obviously the rage bait's interesting, but like at the same time, I actually like, it's like entertainment and educational, and like it's good shit. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, and I apologize for calling you an idiot. I actually really do.
That's all right.
I appreciate.
I know you say you got to keep you out of a little bit because there's a bunch of so it's all good.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for coming up. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Let's go on to the next person. That is definitely a circumstance where I shouldn't have said that he was an idiot. Definitely looking back on it. That definitely was an example where I shouldn't. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. Don't use slurs. That's fucking gross. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Oh, sorry. I keep clicking my thing. Braden, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Braden. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's almost impossible to get on. You try to get on disability. It's almost impossible. Yeah, I know. I've heard it's so hard. Let's go on the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. As well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like the stream. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get out to more people. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I've been all deep while I'm getting.
So the next person, only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria on the screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What's your birth year?
03.
Okay. And you said you're 22. What month?
March.
And why do you support Donald Trump?
He's getting the illegals out of our country. I like that.
Immigrants? Why? Why do you think that's a good thing?
Because they came here legally. If you're not here legally,
you want to
should
enforce
leave.
the law?
I do. It's part of.
Then why'd you vote for a convicted criminal held civilly liable who sexually abused a woman, who was also like pardoned violent rioters on January 6th who beat cops?
This wasn't all proven.
This was all proven. Yes, it was. He was held civilly liable unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people for forcibly penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. He was convicted in a criminal court for 34 felonies, right, amongst a jury of 9 or 12 people. And then we can also point to the situation where he pardoned violent rioters. This is publicly verifiable information from the federal government.
And why isn't he sitting in prison?
Because of sentencing was after he was nominated for president in terms of the criminal court. And for civil courts don't send you to prison. Civil courts can make you pay. And the reason why it was in a civil court, not a criminal court, is because the statute of limitations in New York, specifically for sexual abuse cases, that says after a certain amount of years that you can't try the crime regardless of the amount of evidence, which is ridiculous and should not exist because for many situations in terms of sexual assault, it takes decades for people to get out, to come out with their story.
I have a question.
Was this societal stigma?
I'm sorry for interrupting, first of all. Was this trial held in New York?
Yes.
Okay, so if it was held elsewhere, this would be a different outcome. This would be okay.
What? I would say that
you said according to the state's laws or whatever that it happened.
It depends on the other state's abortion laws, or not abortion, state's laws specifically on statute of limitations.
Okay, so obviously it's not that serious of a crime if he can pay his way out of it. This isn't
What?
benefit.
Wait, you don't think sexual abuse, forcibly penetrating a woman's vagina against her will, is a serious crime?
That is definitely a serious crime.
That's
but why would
exactly what
he
happened.
be able to? Okay, please stop cutting me off. This is a debate. Why would he get away with it when there's so many other people that get convicted for the same thing every single day in America? Why is he so special?
I told you the statute of limitations in New York.
Okay, can you repeat that, please?
The statute of limitations in New York says that after a certain amount of years that you can't try a sexual abuse case, even regardless of the amount of evidence, even if it's on video.
Okay, I agree with you there. Not gonna lie, you got me.
Okay.
Um,
So then, like, I guess, like, my point is that, like, if you want to enforce the law, why'd you vote for a convicted criminal?
at the time, I was under the impression that he wasn't. He was innocent. I come from a Republican family, and we thought those people on the stands were lying.
Do you think that now still?
Half and half. I'm open-minded, mostly a Trump supporter, but yeah.
So then, like, what would make you think that they're lying at this point?
Because there's so many people that want to see the downfall of him.
Isn't that true about every politician? So, like, why wouldn't there be cases like this against every single politician?
There has been. Have you heard of
No,
the
there
Clintons?
hasn't. Not every single politician. He was not held civilly liable of sexual abuse. No, nor was any other politician I could think of off the top of my head. I can't mention a single one that has.
Okay. Well, again, I support Trump generally because he was the better candidate, like the other guy was saying, honestly. If we go back to the interviews, Biden couldn't form a sentence.
Wait,
And
I'm not gonna. I mean, I do think that Biden could form sentences. I don't think that he was so cognitively declined where he couldn't form sentences. He could, obviously. I think that
I'll
he
agree
could
with
fulfill
you
the
there.
necessary elements of being president. I just don't think he would fulfill to the degrees that I think are necessary to be president. Or not necessary. I think to degrees that I would want from a president. The same thing's also true with Trump. Like, Trump is able to fulfill the necessary qualities of being a president, but not to the degree that I would want to.
I agree with you there. However, it was extremely concerning seeing the cognitive dichotomy
Trump?
the cognitive dichotomy between Biden and Trump. Looking at the highlights of their interviews, obviously.
Oh, we could do the
much
same thing with
more-
Harris and Trump. I mean, like, the cognitive decline on behalf of Trump was shocking and staggering. Specifically, if you want to look at that in comparison to Kamala Harris, compared to Kamala Harris, who is incredibly intelligent.
Are there studies
right?
on this?
Very intellectually there. We don't need a study in order to watch the debate where Donald Trump
So this
gets
is
dog
opinion.
walked by Kamala Harris. It was
So
your
this is
opinion. It
opinion.
was your opinion about Biden, wasn't it?
I mean, there's plenty of things. I mean, after his presidency, he's in retirement.
Was that not your opinion?
It is, but it's
So
proof.
then why is
that
it
Biden after
only bad when it's
presidency-
my opinion?
It's not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're not comparing it to proof.
So again, if we're talking about proof, I can show you videos. Would you like to see them?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I said I'm open-minded. I'll repeat it again.
Okay. Well, totally. Well, listen in here. This is a pretty interesting set of clips. Good luck.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Well,
If you
sorry.
prove me wrong, I will happily join your side, brother.
Absolutely.
Last for a very short period of time. So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now who really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
Okay, what does this have? That is a funky statement from him. I'm not going to lie. That is quite peculiar. However, what does this have to do with cognitive ability?
Well, I mean, I think that was clearly like an incoherent
I mean, yeah,
ramble.
you can't jump into the currently electrocuted water to escape electrocution. That is pretty derivative. But again, comparing. This is all opinion, but let's compare. Okay, so we have on one hand a full 60-minute interview with Trump. He can slip up a couple sentences. Maybe some of the things he isn't saying makes complete sense, or he is saying makes complete sense. But if we look at the highlights from Biden's interviews, there's stuttering, there's stopping mid-sentence. I mean, he screwed up.
He has a stutter. You want to hear a list as well?
He screwed up an analogy. How can you compare that to stuttering and not being able to finish?
Having a
sentence?
stutter is not indicative of you not having like cognitive awareness. That's a really bad argument.
He did not have a stutter in his previous years.
He does have a stutter. That's just not true. He absolutely has a stutter, and especially as you age, right? Like a stutter.
That's called cognitive decline. That's what we're talking about.
No,
as you age.
No, it's having a stutter. It's having a stutter, right? Because other people will age in that.
You just said as you get older, you start to stutter. That is called cognitive decline.
You're not listening. People who do not have a stutter will not stutter in that type of way. It's because he has a stutter that when he ages, that happens. If he aged and didn't have a stutter, that wouldn't have happened. Does it make sense?
My grandma never had a stutter, yet she developed one when she developed dementia.
Wait, my grandma died of dementia.
No.
My grandma died of dementia and alongside COVID, and it is the case that there is no comparison. There's no fucking comparison. If you knew someone, did you spend time with her?
Of course, I was her caretaker in her older years.
Then you would know specifically there's no comparison.
Excuse me? You're telling me my grandma didn't have cognitive decline because of dementia?
No, I'm saying there's no comparison of Biden to someone who has dementia. There's a huge distinction. My grandma had dementia. I could tell the distinction.
Oh, so you can... Okay. Yeah, that tells me everything I need to know. Have a nice day, brother.
Wait, why does that tell you... What?
Because...
Why are you running away because of that? I just said that my grandma had dementia and that you can't compare that to Joe Biden?
If you're welcome to keep me on, I'll explain.
I am. I'm confused why you were about to run away.
Okay, what are you confused about? I closed the app. What?
Why you were about to run away? Because I said that.
About to run away? No, like explain what you were... No, what? Okay, maybe I should go. I'm confused now.
You don't have to leave? I'm confused. Why did you say that and try to like run away? Like what I said was ridiculous.
Can you remind me of what we were talking about?
Yeah, I was saying that you can't compare like the state that Joe Biden's in to my grandma that had dementia.
Okay.
Like, there's no comparison.
Again, my grandma also has dementia. We're talking about stutter. This isn't about Biden having dementia. We're going back to the stuttering, which is the original topic. Developing stutter from dementia. Right? Am I wrong?
One, Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. Two, he's had
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I know this. Joe Biden does not have dementia. I agree with you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying...
What are you arguing?
You are arguing the fact that you cannot get a stutter from the development of dementia in your older years of life. Correct? You just told me that it was because he had a previous stutter that he developed it in his later age. And then you denied me whenever you said that it's not due to dementia.
I said it was harder for him to be able to speak specifically because of his stutter, because it is the case that as he ages, right, it becomes harder for him to be able to control that, right? Which is something that is something that happens when people have a stutter and they age. It is not specifically just aging.
There's so many people I know that stutter that are old. It's a common symptom of getting old.
Wait, no, you're misunderstanding. It's not just because he had a stutter throughout his life.
Correct.
Okay, so he had a stutter throughout his life. Therefore, it's not just a stutter that happened because of age, right? It was a stutter that he had that then when he
I get where you're coming from, but if you
noticeable.
Look... Okay.
It's not indicative of dementia. Right? It's literally just him having a speech impediment.
Okay, but if you look at an interview with him 10 years ago, he's talking perfectly fine. What do you wrap that up to? Why is it so worse now?
When you say, okay, again, you can say at specific different points, it is the case that it becomes harder for people to manage in different contexts depending on the set of scenarios or what is happening. But you can point to clips in
Correct.
the
So do
past
you think
specifically
someone
of
in that
can I please finish? You can point to clips of the
Yes, yes, sir.
past
Sorry.
specifically of Biden stuttering, right? And especially in terms of his childhood that he specifically mentioned, right? But just because he didn't have that specifically in the middle of his life doesn't mean that that won't show up later on in his life. That's not indicative of just because of cognitive decline. That's indicative of the fact that he has a childhood stutter, and then aged. It's not just aging, it's the combination.
Okay, this is going in circles at this point.
No, but like I'm confused. Like that makes sense to explain. And then simultaneously, this is used to distract away from literally the cognitive decline of Donald Trump, because the candidate that Donald Trump was going up against was Kamala Harris.
Correct.
So would you like to hear another clip of Donald Trump showing cognitive decline?
I don't need to. He doesn't have much.
Would you like to
I
hear?
refuse at this point. I would like to keep debating.
You refuse? It's 40 seconds long.
Okay, go ahead and go ahead and show me.
But you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than hitting a whale with your boat. There has only been, listen to this, one such whale killed off the coast of South Carolina in the last 50 years. But on the other hand, their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. Nobody does anything about that. They're washing up on shore. I saw it this weekend. 3 of them came up. You wouldn't see it once a year. Now they're coming up on a weekly basis. The windmills are driving them crazy.
Okay, so this is one-sided because I can't pull up clips. I'm a guest in your live stream, so I can't pull up clips of Kamala or Biden. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to deny your it's one-sided. I can't put my audio on stream. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many cases that I could prove to you, but I'm not in your boat. And it's good. I'm glad you have an audience. That's really cool of you to have this big audience, 4.8 thousand people. That's crazy. I can't get my side out. All I could do is words. You can pull up these clips, you can pull up these charts, and that's all cute. But I can't get my side out. It really is. There's endless clips. I could pull up 60-minute documentaries, basically, on how this dude has declined over the past 6 years. But I can't do that because I'm not Parker.
Why can't you mention Kamala Harris?
Say that again. I was talking.
Why can't you mention Kamala Harris?
Because I didn't do much research on her, I'm not going to lie.
So then if you want to do a comparison between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, you can do that. But if you have to reach all the way back to Joe Biden in order to try and make a point against Donald Trump in terms of his cognitive awareness, it just makes Donald Trump look ridiculous because he's clearly less cognitively aware than Kamala Harris, who's incredibly intelligent.
They back to one of the old guys. I believe his name was Spider-Man something. There are literally, I mean, you are correct. Every 60-minute episode is edited. That's a part of TV. Duh. Kamala Harris's was
Kamala.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Kamala Harris. My bad. Yeah, she's listening.
Rob, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate it. Amy, thank you for the $5. Abby with the $15. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Grace with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm definitely, that definitely must have been a mistake, Grace. Thank you so much for the $5. Susan with the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Susan. Give me some W's for Susan in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Definitely.
W's for Susan.
Might take that into account. Thank you so much, Susan. I really appreciate it. Thank you. W's for Susan in the comment section as well as Zach. Thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. No, literally though.
All right, back to what we were saying. What's it called? I don't even know where we were at this point. Frick.
Windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before.
You're not gonna lie, that was foolish of him to say, man. That was. Again, comparing the two, Kamala and Trump.
Kamala.
Okay, that's where I was. 60 minutes. 60 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing her name right. I haven't done research on her.
You can say Harris. It's totally fine.
Okay, Harris. I'll just say Harris, so I don't offend anybody because I know that's touchy. Her 60-minute videos, they usually those things, they sit people down, give them 60 minutes to talk. Of course it's edited. They might add 10, 15 minutes onto it. They completely redid her interview behind the scenes, stitched it up to her liking. This was proven fact. I mean, if you have, obviously you have access to videos and resources, why don't you look that up real quick?
It was not to her liking, one. Two, they released the whole thing.
They did,
release the whole
and
thing
it
with
was.
Trump. How long was Trump's 60 minutes?
I never watched it. I don't know.
Did you watch Kamala Harris's?
I did not, but I saw the news about it.
Okay, so then, like, how could you even?
It was a
make
big
claim about
headline on my For You page. I didn't see no big headline about how Donald Trump faked his interview.
Donald's is 21 minutes, so they edited this like crazy.
Again, that's after, whatever. They completely redid her interview.
They redid Trump's. This is completely edited.
To cut down time, yeah, for production cost and shit like that.
That's literally what they
Excuse my
did with
language.
Kamala Harris.
No, dude, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. There's the difference between editing and replacing.
So what do you mean by replacing?
You can sit down for an interview.
By the way, the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview is like within a few seconds of time of the Trump one. If anything, it's longer.
Okay, because they gave her probably 5 days to do it when Trump got 60 minutes.
The difference is literally 3 seconds, and Kamala Harris is 3 seconds longer.
You said significantly. My bad. I thought you meant minutes. 3 seconds is significant. You are so right. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
I apologize.
I don't know, man. It just seems like white lies to make yourself look better. Like
What I said? Didn't I say they were around the same time period? Like they said they were.
I'm giving
the same time?
you information to Google, and you're not. I'm open to you. See, I'm listening to your clips that you're playing and stuff like that. I'm telling you to look up my stuff, and you won't do that. That's not a debate. That's pushing your side.
What do you want me to look up? I didn't hear you wanted me to look up something. I know you're getting mad.
Well, it was a while ago. Now
okay. You can tell me to look it up. Okay. Well,
it was a while ago. Now I don't freaking remember. What?
You seem a little like angry about that, man.
Feisty, at least I'm not calling people dumbasses.
Thank you so much, Feisty. I really appreciate it. Thank you. What's up?
At least I'm not calling people dumbasses in the middle of talking. I haven't called you a name once.
Well, I said idiot, and I don't think I called you a dumbass.
No, it was the last guy. I screen recorded.
I called him an idiot, and I apologize.
No. I got it screen recorded. This whole thing's screen recorded. Don't worry, I got it. You called him a dumbass. It's
also on YouTube. I called him an idiot.
Okay, so then someone in the comments can tell you that you called him a dumbass. That's heated, in my opinion. That's getting pretty heated. Am I wrong?
Because the other guy was just trying to talk to you. I did apologize for that. But by the way, that was you just got more heated than I ever was. Isabel, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have I called you a name, Parker?
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. As well as Renee, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you so much, Renee. Can we get some W's for Renee in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's very true.
No, he's ignoring me.
What'd you say? What was your question?
But have I ever called you a name? You say I'm getting heated, but have I ever called you a name?
I mean, you just got angry there. I heard you got angry. You didn't just. The only way that you can get angry isn't by calling someone a name.
So you insulted the last man, yet you're saying you did not get heated. You can apologize for it, which I am apologizing right now.
I did apologize for it, and I did say that was an example of that. Just not as heated as you were.
So insulting somebody personally is not as heated as getting into saying
idiot. Me calling the last guest an idiot was not as much
dumbass. Correction.
Crash out
dumbass.
as you specifically. I said idiot.
Correction. You called him a dumbass. I have it screen recorded.
Go ahead, play it.
I can't. I'm on a live with you. Where do you expect me to play it? YouTube? You want me to go into your YouTube live stream?
It's essentially the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, I don't remember that. I might be thinking of like a different time, but I'm pretty sure I called them an idiot, and I apologize.
His username was Spider-Man. He was 20 or 21 years old. I don't remember. And you straight up called him a dumbass.
For what?
I don't remember, man. This was 30 minutes ago. I have no idea.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you. Guest is so emotional. They love to claim liberals are. I know, right? Thank you so much, Adriana. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I see the comments. I'm obsessed because he's calling me heated whenever he's personally attacking people in his live
It's
stream.
okay. You're just sensitive. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. So, again, insult. You're throwing insults.
Baby, don't say a word.
Wow. Okay, you're getting posted, bud. Get ready to go viral. This is straight insulting.
Get ready
This
to
is
go
not
viral,
debates.
dude. I don't care. Yeah, you think I'm gonna go viral?
These are not.
Thank you for sending
Parker,
people to my stream. I really
Parker,
appreciate it. Thank you.
These are not debates. These are not debates. You're coming on here.
Think that? By the way, you think that I'm gonna get like? You think it's gonna go viral
I have treated
in a
you
negative
with
way
respect.
for me?
I have treated you with respect, maturity. Have not called you a name. Barely said any cuss words. When I did,
I didn't call you a name at all. I literally just.
These are not.
I was being so nice to you, and I was
mature
singing.
debates.
I was singing you a lullaby. Okay.
These are not logical. These are not
Terry, thank you for the
logical.
$5. Thank you so much.
You're interrupting me. Okay.
Thank you so much, Terry. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you.
You get people on here to get them heat. It's rage bait. That's this whole thing. It's rage bait, right?
No, I'm just doing that with you.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sticking up for the last guy. I know he's in somewhere appreciating it. Thank you.
I doubt he is because he was actually nice and he accepted my apology.
I accept your apology too, but you're still coming at me.
I never
calling me
apologized to
names.
you. You don't get an apology. You don't deserve an apology. Grace, thank you for the $2.
Oh, I'm so
Thank you so much. I
sorry.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
so back to debating like real men. Can we stop calling each other sensitive names and calling each other heated and crybaby and I'm gonna sing you a lullaby and you're a dumbass? And can we actually get back to talking about politics?
I didn't say
or
those
is
things
that
about
the whole?
you, man. I don't know why you keep saying
No,
this.
no,
It
no,
sounds
not.
like- I will call you a snowflake though because you didn't say I shouldn't say that.
See, that's an insult.
Well, I mean, you are being
You're
a
still
little
going.
bit of a,
You're
are
proving
being
my
a little
point.
bit of a snowflake
You're
right now.
proving my
Not
point as
Randy,
I'm
thank you so
talking.
much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Tell this guy Kamala's interview at a 3-second edit, and Trump's Fox interview edited his Epstein answer.
Ooh, wait, I actually want to see that. Can we actually see that? If that's true, hold up.
Well, I'd
Can you
have
pull
to
that
pull
up?
it up. You can pull it up.
Okay. Well, I'd have to get off the app and I can't talk anymore. So I'm gonna go do that.
Bro.
I appreciate it. I wish this was a real debate.
He's gonna run away. He's gonna run away. He's scared.
Well, I
you
have
don't want
to.
debate me? Give me a
I
policy.
can't
of
sit
Trump's
here all
like,
day.
Give me an
If I have to go
economic
do my own
policy.
if I do my
That's
own
crazy.
research, I
Thank you
have
for
to
the
get off
$2.
that. I don't have a computer.
We can do
next
that. We
to
can
me.
do that later. It's fine. You can look that
What?
up later, right?
I'll forget about it. What was it?
Well, you already forgot
Oh
about
my
it, so
gosh.
it's fine. So you can just stay now.
Okay. Because I'm a
So-
busy man. I don't have time to sit in front of my computer and call people names all day.
or critical
Grow
things.
up, dude. You want to debate with people, yet you just get on here, interrupt them, and call them names. That's not debating.
I mean, I didn't call people names like across the board. You could watch the rest of the 2 hours before this. I had productive dialogues with people. You're the only person.
I'm sorry, I'm
where
a
it's
busy
been like
man.
this.
I was not here.
Just want to let you know that you're the only person where it's been like this. And you know, I talked to people for 5. 6
I told
hours
you I
every
was
single day.
open-minded until you insulted me. I was cool about
What
it
did-
until
what-
you.
what
I was
insult?
listening to your clips.
What insult?
I'll have to go back and check my screen recording. You called me a
Zach,
few
thank you
things.
for the $10. Thank you, Zach. I never insulted you. You were the one who got
Yes, you
mad,
did.
and I said
Multiple
I said,
times.
"Why are you getting mad? Like, why are you?"
You're
crying?
asking why am I getting heated, and then I
thank
asked
you for the
you why you
$5.
called
Thank
the
you,
other guy a
Kate.
dumbass. It's a logical question. You're asking me why am I getting heated? I asked you
Yeah,
why you
and I
called the other
told
guy
you
a
that I
dumbass.
didn't. I told you that I didn't, but no, that wasn't specifically the.
Now you're just lying.
Wait, really? You want me to play back you getting angry?
No, I
have it
want
on,
you to play
I have it
back
on
the part
recording.
you-
I'll play it back for you. Would you like to hear it?
Would you like to play the part where you called the guy a dumbass? No, because that proves you wrong.
I'll play the. I already said I called the guy an idiot, and I apologized. Sensitive.
Okay,
It's
your
okay.
apology doesn't do anything. You got heated,
right?
So, again, insult. You're
Hush,
throwing
little
insults.
bit.
Insulted the last man, yet you're saying
Thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much, Feisty. So what do you mean by replacing?
You can sit
by,
down
the
for
way,
an interview.
by the way, the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview is like within a few seconds of time of the
Right.
Trump one. If anything, it's longer.
Okay, because they gave her probably 5 days to do it when Trump got 60 minutes.
The difference is literally 3 seconds, and Kamala Harris is 3 seconds longer.
You said significantly, my bad. I thought you meant minutes. 3 seconds is significant. You are so right. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
By the way, that's not you being rude at all. You know, I apologize.
It's sarcasm. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It just seems like white lies to make yourself look better. Like,
What I
No,
said,
but
I said
I'm
that
giving,
didn't
I'm
I say they
giving.
were around the
Where did
same
I
time
get heated?
period? Like they said they were
I'm
around the
giving
same time. That's
you
what I heard you
information to
say.
Google, and you're not. I'm open to you. See, I'm listening to your clips that you're playing and stuff like that. I'm telling you to look up my stuff, and you won't do that. That's not a debate. That's
What do you
pushing
want me
your
to What
side
do you want me
onto
to
me.
look up? I didn't hear you wanted me to look up something. I know you're getting
It was
mad,
a while ago
but it's
now. I
okay.
don't
You can
freaking
tell me to look
remember.
it up. Okay, well
It was a
then.
while ago now. I don't freaking remember.
Ah!
You started. Okay,
What?
wait. Can I talk again or no?
Well, you did get a thing that says that you have contained themes that some may find uncomfortable, so I do have to kick you. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I don't know what was the stuff that he did that will make people feel uncomfortable. Maybe it was just his presence. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria on the screen, everyone. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria on the screen. Sweet Pete, no one's running from you. I've already talked to you multiple times.
Okay, now listen. I listened to your video. I
Are you
would like you to
driving?
play
Are you
that.
driving again? Wait, Sweet Pete,
I'm
I had
in
to
an
kick you off.
Uber.
How are you always Ubering?
Because that's how I get to and from work.
Okay, well then you're always in the live when
I
you're
don't
to and
drive
from
my
work.
vehicle.
Wait, you were in Uber last night.
Yes, I was.
Okay,
I'm in
alright.
Uber all the time. I don't waste gas.
She Ubers everywhere, huh?
I do when it comes to work because I'm all over the board. I'm all over the place. So
Okay,
your video that you posted on YouTube, at the very beginning of it, do you recall saying fabricating, falsifying business records was a Class E felony? Do you remember saying that, Parker?
Yeah.
You said that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I told you, no, that was a misdemeanor. I said it took campaign finance violations to make it a felony. And you said no. That was the argument. You need to go back and listen to your YouTube
You're
because I'm not ready to blow your YouTubes away.
No, what I explained to you right after was that.
Let's hear your YouTube.
Are you gonna let me explain or no?
Sure, you can explain it, but you lost. You lost. 5K, dude. You lost. I told you, was telling you, the campaign finance violations is what created the felony. And you said no. And I have my other phone at home. I was going to play it for you, where you're saying falsifying business records is a Class E felony in New York. That's what you said. Listen to your own video at the beginning.
Yeah, I said what Donald Trump was convicted of was a Class E felony because it was specifically falsification of business records in the first degree, right, with a predicate crime, right? And
no,
the
you
predicate
never said
crime.
Predicate crime. You never said that. You need to
can
really
I please,
listen. No,
hey, Sweetie, can I please finish? Can I please finish? Like, you're not letting me speak.
But okay, just play the video real quick, the beginning of it where you said it, because you never said no predicate crime at that point. You were like, I want to see this campaign finance. What's that? You didn't even know about it. You need to really listen to the beginning of that video, because that's where you owe me 5K. And I'm being dead serious and dead honest. Then later on in the conversation, you started adding the underlining charge that then you started to add that after I told you about it. Then you started to make up on it. And that's the truth. And I don't lie. I'm far from a liar. I listened to that YouTube video and I was like, oh my God, it's right there. So I went in and I saved those little stitches and I'm going to post it. But I want to give you a heads up because I'm kind of like that. So just listen to your own video from the beginning to the end from our conversation, and you'll see where you owe me 5K. I think you already know, but when you posted it, you weren't thinking about it. You didn't think people would catch it. But nonetheless, you can keep your 5K. I don't want it. I did win the 5K though, but I don't want it. I don't need it. I just want to hear you say, yeah, I screwed up. That's all I want. And you can keep your 5K. But I want to hear you say, yeah, you were right. Maga woman was right. She dog walked me that day. I can see. Can you do that?
Are you done speaking?
Yeah. Are you going to play the video?
I'm going to speak, and if you cut me off, I'll kick you from the stream. Because I just let you yap for like 3-4 minutes there without providing anything of substance at all. You just restated the same thing over and over again, which is totally fair and totally fine.
The truth.
But, dude, holy shit. Can you let me speak? Please, just like I'm trying to explain it to you. So what I was originally explaining from the very beginning was that it is a falsification of business records in the first degree, which is a Class C felony in the state of New York. Given that there's a predicate crime in place, there was no specific predicate crime mentioned because the jury did not have to agree upon a specific predicate crime, right, in order to convict Donald Trump or specifically of the 34 felonies. Because, again, the 34 felonies was bumped up to felonies rather than being a misdemeanor because of the predicate crime in furtherance of another crime, which again was not specified. The reason why I asked you specifically to show me campaign financing is because there was no specified particular crime that they agreed upon as a jury that then was listed, and you were saying that that was the case. That's what I was disputing. That's why you owe me $5,000.
No, my whole bet was, you said it was falsifying business records was what gave him the felony. And I said, no, it was campaign finance violations. And then you even said in that video that it was the falsification of business records was the Class E felony. You said that on that YouTube video. If you go back and listen to it, and I was just trying to tell you what made it a felony. And you said it was that, and it wasn't. That is a misdemeanor in New York, falsifying business.
Shall I go on? Let me tell you about his energy dominant. 34 inputs in QuickBooks is what added to those felonies. That's how he got 34 felonies. Okay, but it was a misdemeanor at falsifying business records until they threw in campaign financing. That's what made it a felony. Then they counted every input where he paid his attorney back, and every input of QuickBooks made it 34 count felony.
Okay,
That's the truth.
Sweetie, I think you're purposefully misrepresenting it because you know you owe me $5,000. If you look at the article, can I please finish? I'll let you finish. If you look at the article that you cited, it says it says that one of the third unlawful actions as a underlying crime, right, would be violating the Federal Election Campaign Act. But that is not the only one listed that it could have been.
Under New York law,
she's not listening. It also says right under that.
I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna show.
Okay.
Go all the way back.
You know that you owe me $5,000. You know you owe me $5,000, and you're still choosing.
Oh, you owe me. I'm gonna show you on camera so your viewers can see what I'm talking about. Okay, just a sec.
Go ahead.
Do you see where is
Parker,
it?
you didn't go back to the beginning. You got to go back to the beginning.
We talked about other stuff.
That's later. No, it was right after.
Didn't make it a felony.
Miss Teen.
It wouldn't have been even illegal, right?
It was after that.
What? Listen. Okay, so you understand.
It would not have even been illegal if that wasn't due to campaign finance.
I just want to let you know the predicate crime that was established by the jury didn't have to be agreed upon.
Okay,
it was
Parker,
any, it
you got to go back
of the predicate
further.
crimes listed.
Rewind
it. Just had to be there was a predicate crime, and alongside the falsification of the business records. So the idea that you're specifically referencing
Go
that it's
back to
campaign
the very
finance makes
beginning
me
of
think
that
that you're
YouTube
thinking of
video.
Michael Cohen.
This is the
You're
end
not
of it.
thinking of just Trump. Because just Trump, it was
Go back to the
falsification of
beginning.
business records
You're
with a
wasting
predicate
time.
crime.
Go back to the beginning.
Okay, here it is, right here. Okay, Trump
Go back to
convicted.
the
Here are
beginning.
the election and tax laws he was charged with breaking. Campaign finance.
What's the
That's
title?
what, okay, this is on Forbes. Okay, FOR.
Okay, so I did go back to the beginning of that
No,
conversation.
no, you didn't go. No, you didn't. You need to go back. Look at your. Go back.
Give me a timestamp.
Okay, it was right after we were talking about the Miss Teen dressing rooms. It was right
So
slowly.
what's the timestamp?
I can't look at that right now. I don't have it. It was. I
Why-
have the
why-
video.
why can't
It's
you
on
look
your
at it right now?
YouTube. It's on your YouTube video.
I know, and I'm watching it right now.
Okay, but go back to the beginning of that video.
Right
after
all
you
of
said,
by the
you
way,
can-
all of the
Right-
top comments, are
right
like
when you
clowning on you
started
for not
talking-
paying up.
Right when you started the conversation, right after the Miss Teen, and you said, "Oh, but she wants convictions." Da 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 da. Right after that is where you sat there and said, "Falsifying business records was a Class E felony." You never said no underlining other crime, and that's what I was trying to tell you, and that's what we betted on.
I literally just clarified, and then we made the bet. Here,
No,
listen.
go.
Here's the title.
Okay,
All you have to do
Listen.
is
all the way
type
back.
in.
Listen.
What did I? Okay, let me go.
No,
ahead and
go
give it
back
you
to
here.
the beginning. This is
Just type
nothing. This-
in Trump convicted. Here are the election and tax
No,
laws.
just tell me the title.
Verdict expected at
You
any
will not
time.
go back
But
to
in
the
order
beginning
for the
because
charges
you know
to be
I dog
felonies,
walk.
the handicap,
Okay.
right? Well, we'll call it the handicap. There you go.
So what is the reason why you
President
support
Trump's
Trump?
Energy actions empower consumer choice in vehicles, even shower heads, toilets, washing machines.
He says, like, do you want me to click
No, keep
here? Like, where do
listening,
you want me
keep
to go?
listening.
What's the timestamp?
No, just it's not too much further after this. I don't know just let it go. It's not too much further. Go ahead. Let it go.
Are you
Right
saying it
where
would be
it's-
okay to do that to adults as well?
There you
I
go.
mean, no,
It was not
paying-
hush money. No, it was a falsification of business records in order to
It was called
hide.
campaign
No,
financing.
no,
to be exact.
it
That's
was
what-
a falsification of business records to hide the hush
Yeah.
money payment to Stormy Daniels, so
Listen,
that the
you-
information
He paid
about
for
him
free.
paying that money to Stormy Daniels
Listen.
didn't get out to affect his election prospects. So the falsification of business records in the first degree, which is a Class E felony in the state of New York, that is exactly what the
You
felony is that he
$5
was
grand,
convicted
dude.
of. But you don't accept
You
those
said it was
felonies.
a
You don't
felony.
accept those
No,
convictions.
It's
You
one
say that they're
charge,
bullshit, even though you
and
say
all
that you would accept the
was-
information about Donald Trump
was the
if there were a
inputs,
conviction.
inputs. I'm not
She's not listening.
saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm saying what it was.
So
It
you
was
so you
inputs
accept
and
it. So you
outputs.
accept it. So you-
Is it illegal for him to pay hush money?
No, that's not what was
Okay,
considered illegal.
okay.
What's illegal
See?
is him falsifying the business records to hide
him
the hush
paying
money
his-
payment.
He paid his attorney, and his attorney paid Stormy, and then he paid his attorney back, and the inputs in QuickBooks.
You don't
is
even
what gave him-
no,
that's the truth.
you need to go look at the case. If you
I
look
already
at
did.
No, you
Watch,
didn't.
I followed the whole thing.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, the 34 felonies are each
Dude, you
entry
didn't even
in
know about
QuickBooks
an
when he paid his
underlying
attorney
crime.
back.
You
You're right. No, so again, what was the crime?
100% right.
Repeat, what was the crime?
Campaign financing.
No.
That's what turned it into. That's what
No.
turned it into.
No.
Look at that. That's what turned
No.
it into.
No. No.
Let me go ahead. I'll come on your panel and I'll show you exactly.
Yeah,
what
I'd love to see that.
campaign financing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just like you said earlier, it's just in a proper word is what he was charged for. Because
So,
you
again,
said
the crime is falsification
Okay.
of business records.
can't because of the campaign,
I
right?
love it.
Because he was hiding it because he was running for president, right? And they call it campaign financing. That was the charge.
No, it's not campaign.
That's
No,
what
the
made it a
the
felony.
charge is a falsification of business records in the first degree.
Campaign financing.
No,
You understand that?
no.
Yeah.
That's campaign finance.
Okay, let me read it.
Yeah, go ahead and find one
you can
source that
bring
says
me
it's
up on the
campaign
panel.
finance.
Okay, just one second. Can we bet some money on this real quick?
Would you like to?
Yeah, I'd love to. How much you want to bet?
So you think that the
Make
law
it
that
worth
was
my
right?
while.
How much do you want to put on it?
Make it worth my while. I'm giving that to you. How much are you willing to lose is what I'm asking.
How much am I willing to lose? How much am I willing to take from you is really the real question, correct?
There you go. There you go. So
I don't know if I'm willing to take so much money from you, but
well,
I mean, it depends. It depends on how. Depends on how. What's it called? You are. Depends on how confident.
I'm very confident.
So now I'm
I'm
muted in the
I'm going to pull it
comments.
up right now. I'm looking right at it. I'm just giving you a chance to tell me how much you want to lose today.
How about you tell me?
And you lost.
No, I'm gonna put that in your lap.
You lost.
Hey, I'm good for
Chat,
it.
how much? I'm trying to play it for you. I need you to be quiet because it's just going to be clarified here.
Oh, it's already over. It's the beginning of it that you.
No, it's not, because again, what you're not understanding is I literally described from the very beginning that it was specifically.
Dude,
Can I please?
you didn't.
Please?
You were laughing about campaign finance.
I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Yes, because it was not specified. I literally clarified this right now. So please just listen. I'm gonna play it.
You
for
said
you.
falsifications was the felony.
Sweetie, I'm so sick with this. You're being very childish right now. You asked me to play it. I'm playing it right now. Shut the fuck up and listen. I can't do this.
New York City board denies. Okay, here we go. News about campaigning fine. Just go ahead. How much? Yeah, go ahead and look it up. I hope you find where I'm at.
I'd love to see where it says campaign finance.
That's what it is. That was the charge. That was the felony.
So I have right here from okay, actually how much? 50.
No,
We'll do
don't
$50. Is that what people are saying?
$50? No. Maybe-
$100?
No, let's go a little higher, my friend.
How much?
I'm talking at least $5,000.
Okay, I'm not gonna take $5,000 from you because you're not gonna pay me $5,000.
I'll take it from you.
You're not gonna take $5,000 from me.
Okay, how sure are you?
How sure am I? I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at it from on NPR right now. It says the jurors said they unanimously agreed that Trump falsified business records to conceal a $130,000 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels to influence the outcome of the 2016 election.
Campaign board, Politico, even New York City Campaign Finance Board. Why don't you go to that?
Are you reading the Politico article?
I got all kinds of them up here.
Okay, let's read the Politico article and let's see what they say.
Pick your poison, bro. Pick your poison.
By the way, I just want to let her know.
You're not gonna bet me.
Here, I'll accept it because it says in that article that you're referencing that Cohen pled guilty to the campaign finance violations.
Yeah,
that's not Trump. Trump was charged with the falsification of business records. So you're actually misunderstanding who it's applicable to.
Okay, what made it a felony? I'm talking about what made it a felony is the campaign financing.
No. What made it a felony was the falsification of business records.
It was campaign.
I'm sorry. Do you want to pay me $5,000? Like I didn't want to take $5,000 from you. Right there. I will give you this. We're speaking past each other there because they were both an aspect of making it a felony. Right there, we were speaking past each other, but it was still that the falsification of the business records and to conceal another crime was specifically the reason why it was a felony, which is what I said from the very beginning, which is what I repeated over and over again, is what I clarified to you multiple times. Right, the falsification of business records to conceal another crime. I had known this. I had said this multiple times.
Parker, you didn't say that at all. You said that was a Class E felony. No, you said it was a Class E felony. False. So again, you didn't say any underlining, but it's all good. I won.
Did I say to conceal another crime, to hide the
way later after you looked it up on the computer?
No, by the way,
then you started doing it.
No, I said it before. That's the first thing I said. It was to hide.
You did not. You said that was the Class E felony.
The first thing I said was that he specifically falsified business records.
You just listened to it.
Listen, the first thing I said, I literally just played it, and I it's really annoying that I went through this and I played it in front of you.
Exactly.
And you're still gonna gaslight me. Like, it's really frustrating.
I'm not gaslighting you. I'm being honest.
Please listen. No, you're not. Please listen.
I'm being very honest.
Please listen. The first thing I said specifically was that he was falsifying business records to hide, right, the hush money payment to be able to so that it didn't affect his election prospects. That's to conceal to further another crime.
Okay, whatever helps you sleep at night. But I know what happened. People heard it. You thought it was a falsification. You didn't talk about any underlining other crime that made it a felony. You specifically said falsifying business records is a Class E felony in the state of New York. And I said, no, that's not what made it a felony, and that's what the bet was on. So, I mean, no big. I mean,
No, it wasn't.
I know what you said.
Misunderstanding. By the way, I just played the audio.
How can
of
I
me
misunderstand that?
I just played the audio of me clarifying it multiple times, and you said that that wasn't true. Like in the clip, I literally played the audio. Right?
Later on that conversation,
I'm serious.
you started looking it up.
I'm trying to be really nice. By the way, I looked it up to show you source of this. By the way, you can look back on all my VODs, right? And you can see me talking about this on plenty of other occasions, countless of other occasions. People in the comment section will talk about how I've mentioned this very thing on live countless
times. Then why didn't you know about campaign financing? You were laughing about it when it shows
because
right
it wasn't.
there.
Because
tax fraud, campaign financing violations. That's what made the
because it wasn't a specified crime specifically that they agreed upon as a jury in order to indict him. That was mentioned. The ones that are mentioned specifically.
But it had to be that to make it a felony.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be that one. No,
because
actually, the one that I mentioned was the one that was generally cited was the concealing of another crime in terms of the helping of his election prospects. The concealing of the hush money to be able to ensure that it didn't affect his election prospects. That would be the main one that was specifically mentioned. That's the one that NPR mentioned.
There's a lot of places that mention campaign finance violations and tax fraud. Okay,
I understand.
That's what made it a felony.
I just want to let you know, because the campaign violations, the finance violations, that was in reference to what Cohen was charged with. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't have been one of the predicate crimes, but I'm saying that wasn't one that was listed, and I've clarified that to you multiple times. I go on. Wait, by the way, in that VOD, I then go on to explain this very thing to you many times, and you denied it over and over again.
After you looked it up, saying things. I mean, I had all the information.
I'm sorry, Sweepy. I just want to clarify. I knew this all before. That was just information I was showing.
You didn't even know what campaign finance was. You were like, I would like to see. You never even heard of it.
No, I've heard of campaign finance. I didn't see that you were specifically saying it was the predicate crime that was agreed upon by the jury in order to be able to. No, you weren't.
Yeah, I said that's what created and made it a felony.
I clarified this with you.
Okay, well, I got to get off here. But anyway, it's good. People are going to believe what they're going to believe.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing, and you're like, what you're doing is you're going to try to do that.
I know. I know what was said in the conversation, and it's recorded.
Yeah, I literally just played it, and you still are denying reality.
Okay, but what was the bet? Okay, let's just talk about the bet. Okay, the bet was, I said.
Oh, then can I play this? I'll keep playing.
Falsifying business records is a misdemeanor. You said it was a Class E felony. I said, no, it was campaign finance violations.
No, we were disputing what Trump was found guilty of. From you, I know that you're wrong. I'm serious. I don't want to take $5,000 from you unless you're going to be confident and be like this.
Campaigns in the United States happens at the federal, state, and local levels by contributions from individuals.
Is she going to keep saying it?
I'm reading it to you. I'm just reading it to you. I mean, I can read it to you all day long.
I mean, read what? I just went to your article. That's specifically Cohen who pled guilty to that. That's not Trump. Trump was falsification of business records.
The bet was
by campaign financing. That's the only way it turned it into a felony. They had to convict his attorney, of course.
See,
the conviction of the attorney happened prior to that.
Yeah, exactly.
You said
this is okay. Again, if we're referencing Donald Trump, it's literally the falsification of business records. If you keep doing this, I'll make you pay the money. You owe me the money then. $5,000.
I'm going to bring it up right here. Okay. The sources of the campaigning funding with Donald Trump. Candidates are not only the only ones raising and spending more money. Political parties are also raising much more money.
I understand. I understand.
See, I mean, playing all this is just stupid. I'm talking at the beginning where the bet was.
Okay, just one second.
This is I'm playing where the bet is.
Can't say it's not true.
Okay. Well, I mean, you owe me $5,000. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link in the bio.
I did not owe you $5,000.
There you go.
It's currently
Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link in the bio, as well as the description of YouTube. Also, by the way, you can check it out. It's pinned on my YouTube account as well.
Why
You owe
don't
me
you go
$5,000.
back and keep
Yeah, you owe me
playing the
$5,000.
part?
You're so confident. Sweet B, you fucking do that one more time. I'm seriously, I'm done. I've been trying to go through this with you because I just want you to be able to hear it, and I want you to be able to understand it.
I listen to it. I know. I gotta get off here.
I can't.
Have a
Stop,
good day,
stop
Parker.
talking, dude.
Have
please.
a good day.
I went through all of that, and she doesn't even state that he listened to the point. I went through all of that. It's like so frustrating. Yo, what's up, audio?
Hello.
How old are you?
34.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Why?
I think a lot of people like me who live and listen. I'm also very big on local politics, but I think people like me who live in California, who have been dealing with an insane amount of bureaucracy, high prices, high taxes, high housing. It's becoming unaffordable for anybody. We're seeing what a democratic utopia could look like. And I think a lot of people just don't want to see that happening across the country. I think the reason why half of the population in the U.S., almost half, voted for him was because there is a fatigue that is just looming on a lot of people when it comes to just their general livelihoods under democratic governors and democratic leadership. I think it's more of a feeling, more so than pulling out. I think we're past like facts at this point in this country. I think it's becoming more emotional. I think when the elections were happening and they put in Kamala, she didn't have anything solid to bring to the table. Kamala, sorry. She didn't have anything solid to bring to the table. When they asked her, what were you going to do differently? She woefully said nothing, which I think was a big mistake because a lot of people want change in their leadership. And I think it's getting to a point where people are so desperate for change that they're willing to look at radical change. If that means breaking down the bureaucracy and all the corruption that's going on. And I know that, I guess, neither are images of people who are probably non-corrupt, but I think people are just tired, and I think we saw it. That's why we tend to swing, between a Democrat president and a Republican president. I think we eventually get tired of Democratic policies and then we'll swing back to Republican, And I think ultimately that's what makes the country what it is we need that balance. We need to be able to swing back and forth. Otherwise, I think we lose everything.
For sure. I think that you're completely wrong on a lot of these things. I think that actually the arguments that you provided, I could argue, are more emotional and not really based upon facts and reasoning, as it is the case that there wasn't really much solid that Donald Trump had to bring to the table, and there were plenty of things solid that Kamala Harris had to bring to the table, and you actually misinterpreted what she was saying there. She wasn't saying what she would do differently or what she would have done. She's not saying what she will do is the same. What she was saying is that she, in those circumstances as what Biden did, wouldn't have done any differently than what Biden did. And now I can critique that, as I have plenty of disagreements in terms of what Biden did. But that doesn't change from the fact that she's not claiming that she wouldn't do anything different in the future. She's claiming
Yeah,
that if she were to go
well,
back, she wouldn't do anything back then. And then you say nothing solid to bring to the table. Donald Trump didn't have a healthcare plan, a childcare plan, a housing affordability plan, a plan to lower prices, a plan to get rid of the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours like he said he was going to do, a plan to drain the swamp. He didn't have a plan to address any of these issues in the country, and yet we're going to sit here and claim that there was like more policy on behalf of him?
I think there are. I think I think the progress that we're making between Russia and Ukraine, I think, is significant. I think ending a war in general, I think, is a positive thing, regardless of who's doing it. I know in a perfect world we would have rather had Kamala doing it, but he's doing it, and if it's and it needs to end. Hundreds of thousands of people are being unalived. It's not. It's just it needs to stop, and by whatever means that, and if that means we have to support Ukraine in the rebuild and invest in their country economically and help them get on their feet, then so be it. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be under the premise of, you know what? Well, Russia has to assume all the responsibility, and if they don't, well, you know what? Let's just continue the war and continue the unaliving, and it's okay. Like, that's, to me, I think that's where like tribal politics come in. It's like people are just like enraged with the fact that he's sitting down with Putin. They're enraged with the fact that he's sitting down with the leader of Ukraine. They're just, and to me, it's nonsense. I think that we have bigger things to worry about as a country, within our country, than to, and the fact that he's taking time to solve wars, I think it's great, but ultimately, we, and again, when it comes to economic policies, again, I think what I was saying
Before
is
we
me
do,
coming.
can I respond to these two things real quick?
Yeah,
So you
sure.
said we have bigger things to worry about. Well, Donald Trump's the one worrying about it, engaging in these particular negotiations, while we've been told specifically by Zelensky that there is going to be nothing that comes from this. Not only has Putin in the past specifically agreed to a exchange of prisoners and then didn't exchange the prisoners, and that's exactly why Zelensky said that he isn't actually trying in good faith to come to the table, but also he broke the Budapest Memorandum and invaded Ukraine in the very first place. The Budapest Memorandum is the agreement that Russia had with the United States that if it is the case that Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them from a Russian invasion. So that's exactly what they broke and what they did, right, which went against everything we specifically set up with them. So that doesn't really seem like much progress. That doesn't seem like we're going to get anything from these type of negotiations. So that's why people are critical of engaging with Putin, because we know that there's nothing that you're going to get from Putin unless you do everything that he wants.
Yeah, I mean, well, but ultimately, he, unfortunately, Russia is a very strong power in the region, and regardless of the sanctions and what Europe is going to do, Russia is going to thrive in a war, and everybody knows that. So as long as you give them their war, they are going to be okay, because that's their industrial, that's their economy. So again, it's I think by whatever means necessary, even if it's giving him what he wants, ending the war, ending the unaliving, initially, I think, is a positive step forward. Now, what comes after, whatever agreements we make with Ukraine or that Europe makes with Ukraine, that comes after in terms of their rebuild and their protection and their safety for these things to never happen again, I think again, it's a positive step forward. I just don't think that I think continuing the war would be giving Putin exactly what he wants.
That's exactly what Trump did. No, Trump specifically gave Putin what he wants because he got rid of the funding for Ukraine. That continues the war specifically on behalf of Putin because it doesn't provide a defense against Putin, where Putin has no options left except for to secede, given that he's not going to be able to continue on longer than the West is able to fund Ukraine. That's essentially what we're trying to do. We're trying to say that we can fund Ukraine longer than Russia can fund these military operations because their economy is struggling right now. And if you want to end the killing, well, then you'd essentially be advocating like there would be a better condition in giving all of Ukraine to Russia because it would end the killing.
Well, it's. I mean, I don't think giving all of Ukraine to Russia. But I don't think that's what they're going for.
But that would end the war right now. That would end the war right now, and it would end the killing right now. But but essentially, what I'm trying to demonstrate with that is that you agree with some level of sovereignty of Ukraine and their consent to defend themselves against Russia invading them over just limiting the most amount of possible deaths that could occur. because it's
Oh,
their consent
no,
to defend
no,
themselves.
in that I agree with you. If Russia were to completely have Ukraine, of course it would end the war. Now, but I don't think that's what's on the negotiating table, and I think in the next few days we're going to see what that looks like. But I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see an end to it. It might not be everything that Zelensky wanted, but I think we're going to see an end. And I think we're, and again, that's a positive step forward. And I think what we do after this ends towards Ukraine is going to be telling how we treat them after, because we do have a habit of starting wars and then turning our backs on people once it's over. So I would love to see, how it looks, in terms of like reinvesting and helping their economy and helping them thrive and investing in their security and their armies. I think that would be the next positive step forward in ending this conflict, and making sure that this doesn't happen again. And that if it does, Ukraine will have the capability to defend itself for many years to come.
You would have to commit U.S. troops.
That's the thing. That's tough. I mean, you have to think about that. Committing U.S. troops in Ukraine
that's why this is a better alternative. What we're talking about right now and continuing the funding would be a better alternative than committing U.S. troops.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, committing U.S. troops in Ukraine, though, in Putin's eyes, is a declaration of war.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I mean. So like, that's what Trump
problem.
Specifically. That's the agreement that Trump would have to get with Zelensky. Zelensky said he's not going to sign it unless there's U.S. involved specifically in the defense of Ukraine, which would include U.S. soldiers. Which that would be an act of war on behalf of Putin's side. So how are you actually going to get a deal done? It seems like the best set of scenarios you have is to continue on exactly what the Biden-Harris administration was doing, which Donald Trump harmed specifically by cutting the funding for Ukraine.
Yeah,
and then bringing it back for no reason.
So I mean, you would say continuing the war would be the better alternative in this particular
in defense of the sovereignty of Ukraine. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, it's I don't think I mean personally, with the amount of lives that have been taken, I just don't think that's realistic. I think the Ukrainians are suffering tremendously. And to just, to sit back and proxy the situation and say, hey, you know what? Well, we can let's just throw some money at the problem, and it's okay. They're going to continue fighting for us. We're not committed. We're not committing U.S. troops, and as long as it's them and we're not, getting our hands dirty. I just don't think that's a good look.
No, wait. It's not just us not quote unquote getting our hands dirty or not. It's the fact that World War III would be a result of that. Okay, it's not just whether or not the U.S. involves itself in terms of that. It's whether or not there would be World War III. So there are other concerns that would bring in the entirety of the globe into operations such as that, because NATO is then entitled to literally defend the entirety of the U.S. operations as well. That's what NATO's obligated to do. That brings in the entirety of Europe. Okay, so in full defense, with troops and everything. So I just want to clarify that there's a big distinction between that and what we're doing right now. But what we're doing right now is, honestly, it sounds like the best option we have. I don't think that there's a better alternative we'd be able to provide. I don't know what that would be.
The thing is again, it's any scenario, and I think that NATO and the U.S. and all of the European leaders recognize it. Any scenario where we're getting closer to World War III with Russia is not a good one. I think historically we should learn from that going to war with Russia is not a very wise idea. Not for anybody, regardless of our capabilities, regardless of our ability to sanction them. It's not going to be pretty for the world, and I certainly don't want to see America in a position where we're having to reinitiate drafts and sending people to the mill and sending people to I mean, it's just not.
We won't have to reinstate any draft or anything.
I would hope
Jeremy,
not.
Maria, thank you for the $5. Jeremy, thank you for the $7.77. Thank you. Caitlin, thank you for the $10. Thank you. And Jamie, thank you so much for the $5. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna actually happen. Maybe we should go back onto specifically what you brought up earlier in terms of economic policy living in California. I live in California as well. I have a different outlook. Because taxes are higher for the rich and wealthy. They're not higher for the average Californian.
Well, I mean, I think
Lowest
we pay
income
like,
Californians pay lower taxes than the rest of the nation.
yeah, but I mean, I pay about 12% on average,
Yeah, because you're
and it's
incredibly wealthy.
no. It's just, you know, I'm a business owner, and we you know, I don't, my income's not, but I pay state taxes, I pay federal taxes quarterly, and it's again, it's not, you know, what I'm seeing a trend.
You're
I'm
saying
seeing
12% state taxes, correct?
correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that means you're in the highest income thresholds. I know what state taxes are in California.
Yeah, and then what is that like over? What does that mean? Over 150 a year, 200 a year is it meets that threshold here?
Well, but you're saying effective tax rate. By the way, there are brackets, so you don't start meeting that in terms of effective tax rate until well later on.
Yeah. So
then
again,
you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
correct. I am, and I do. I mean, you know, but I don't speak for myself. I speak for my peers. I speak for people around me. I speak for my friends. I speak for people in my community that I see that are suffering. They can't afford housing. They can't afford to pull a loan.
Come on! You're telling me because of the state tax rate being that high for the richest Californians that they can't afford a house?
It's a combination of state taxes. It's a combination of gas prices.
The state taxes being that way gives before you do. State taxes being that way gives more gives more money to working class Californians to be able to then afford houses, because it is the case that otherwise the tax burden would be on them in order to pay for our systems and programs.
Well, how so? In what way do you see these systems working in California?
Like, for example, I know people that were able to get access to college because there's free college programs. My college was partially funded because of it. 80% of Cal States are funded specifically by the state government, right? Plus, you can get 2 years community college in plenty of places, right, in California because of the different types of policies. They've extended Medi-Cal, right, for more people. They've extended programs in terms of housing, right, for more people. They have unemployment programs for more people. I mean, there's so much in California that we provide that's a greater access than the rest of the country. Now, not to say it's perfect, but it's definitely better.
And I think you know, and I'm not. We can maybe look this up, but I think if we were to measure how much student debt is carried over, I think California is probably one of the top states.
Yeah, because people go to private universities in California. I'm talking about the public options. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to go bring or get debt specifically at huge public universities that, you know, make you pay $60,000 a year. I'm talking specifically about people who cannot afford college having the opportunity to go to college, right? Whether it be at a Cal State, whether that be specifically at a community college, etc., that are significantly more expensive because of California funding them.
Okay, and listen, you know, if taxes and for me, you know, again, paying taxes, that's not you know, if it's going into something positive, again, I'm never opposed to it. For me, it's a combination of how expensive it is to live in the state. It's a combination of housing prices, which I don't know what part of California you're in, but you're not finding a single family home under $1 million, period. And
it depends where you go in California. That's just not true.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The average price is in California $1 million, but I promise you there are places in California that you can absolutely go to where you will find something under $1 million.
Oh, of course, yeah. You know, but you have to go to remote. You have to literally go like. It's
not really remote. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, listen. If I want to go,
especially comparative to the rest of the nation. I mean, I grew up in Iowa. I know what remote actually is, right?
No.
I live in California now, and I know that's not remote.
Okay, but hold on. But let's be realistic. Okay, so if you're living in LA, and I'm just gonna give you an example, and there's other examples like this in other counties in California. But if you're living in LA County, regardless, you're not finding anything below a certain price. Now, of course, you can go to Santa Clarita, you can maybe go to Simi Valley, you can maybe go to Palmdale, and do the 2-hour drive every day. So you can come to work. So you can come to work in LA, or because there isn't a lot of work out there. It's mainly housing. It's a lot of tract homes. It's not like an area where there is a lot of like business going on. So a lot of people that live in these areas,
no clue what you're talking about.
No, a lot of people that live in areas like Santa Clarita have to drive. They commute to LA every single day. You can see the traffic.
I'm not disputing that people go from
Yeah, I mean,
northern LA specifically down into the city, especially in the valley areas, right? Specifically into the
it's
city. But to say that there's no business in the valley is ridiculous.
no, no,
Okay?
not no.
I've been
Well,
to
hold
the
on.
valley on countless occasions. The valley has lots of
Yeah.
business.
Well, hold on. But there's the valley, like Woodland Hills, Sherman Oaks. Like there's the valley that's actively going, and then there is like Deep Valley, right, where there isn't as much going on. You have to come either into the valley or into LA. Generally, if you're like, if you have a store, or if you have a shop on Ventura Boulevard, but you live in Santa, you're driving. There is no there. You know what I mean? That you can't open like a gas station, let's say, or you can't open like a store in Santa Clarita and find the same business in Woodland Hills or in Sherman
Although
Oaks.
but I just want to clarify. I'm not saying that there isn't a housing crisis specifically in California.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the way that you were portraying it is not true. But I do just want to be very clear that if you want to reference California's policies on this, that's not specific to California. It's because this is a big city where a lot of people want to live. And when there's a big city where there's a lot of people that want to live there, there's going to be high housing prices and high upward pressure on housing prices. And that's why you need to have different policies to build more housing, which is exactly what they're trying to do.
That's part of the problem in California is there's a ton of bureaucracy in California. Do you know how difficult it is to build a house up here? You know how long it takes?
I'm sorry. Do you want to gut environmental regulations? What do you?
No,
what,
no, no.
What particular? What differences in the process would you like to create?
It's not environmental. The permitting and inspections process. The permitting and
inspecting for what?
Well, let's say, okay. So from the moment you build a house, from inception to end, okay. The very first steps is you have to go into.
Yeah, no. But what are you inspecting? What are you inspecting? Are you inspecting for the health and security of that household?
No. So, there's multiple. There's about 10 inspections from inception to end. So first you have to do foundation and footings. Then you have to do framing. Then you have to do plumbing. Then you have to do electrical. Then you have to do frame.
All stuff you should have to do.
Then you have to do drywall. Then you have to do finishes. Yes. Then you have to do final. Yes. Then you have to do a final inspection. Then you have to get a certificate of occupancy. How long do you think that takes?
Wait, I'm sorry. You want to make the process go faster? Sure, but you're saying these processes shouldn't exist? You should just be able to build houses that crumble on itself, especially when there's earthquakes here in California.
What I'm saying is the current process in California is extremely lengthy. There's a lot of bureaucracy. It takes a long time to get things done.
To some degree. There needs to be some bureaucracy to some degree.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Again, I didn't say at any point in my statement that we need them to be removed, but they need to move faster. They need to hire either more people. They need to get these. Look, for example,
more governmental funds. So now you need more tax money.
Well, at the Palisades, for example. Well, I'm sorry, for the amount of money that California collects, which is the 5th largest economy in the world, we shouldn't be asking for more funds. Or 4th, we shouldn't be asking.
Well, we pay for the rest of the U.S. So unless you want to secede from the union, we're going to be paying hundreds or like close to $100 billion into the system that we're not getting.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, again, look. I mean, you don't have to go far. Look at the Palisades. Look at Altadena. They've only approved 1 or 2 permits. There's only 1 or 2 houses being built in the last year. That's not okay,
dude. I've been in that area. You're wrong. It's not 1 or 2. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they've only started on about 2 projects in Altadena and about 2 projects.
Wait. You're saying only 2 houses? That's ridiculously not true.
Go check.
Dude, I have been there. I've literally been there. What are you talking about?
I live down the street. I don't live far, man. I trust me. It's in my. It's insane, dude.
What is the guy talking about? Like, I actually dude. You should not bring up areas that I'm familiar with.
Okay, I live in Sherman Oaks. I'm right down the street from the Palisades. Like I go up there all the time.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, so. Okay. Yeah, so you're saying in Sherman Oaks, you go all the way down to the Palisades and to Altadena all the time? I doubt you go to Altadena 1. 2 isn't related to this.
I'm a general contractor. I've been getting called for bids regularly. Okay, in areas like from homeowners, in areas like Altadena and Palisades, where I have to get a contractor.
So you're saying there's only 2 houses being built.
In so far in the Palisades, that's actually framed out 1. Okay, there's only 1 house that's framed in the Palisades that actually has a structure. Okay, and in Altadena,
have they started building the other ones?
Not yet. No, they're not even. Most of them are not even in permitting. They haven't even passed city.
No, I'm just saying that they started construction at all.
On a few, they've cleared up. They started maybe foundation on a couple. But nothing's moving the way.
Wait, so you're saying that you want things to move faster? Sure, you can talk about wanting things to move faster,
I think it's imperative.
but
I think it's
but that
imperative for
doesn't change that there is construction starting in the area, and
well,
two,
no. But this ties in, Parker. This ties into, for me, this ties into housing. This is a perfect example of why California is suffering in the housing field, because it's taking too long, even after natural disasters, or even after even unnatural disasters, whatever it was. Um, uh, it's taking way longer than it should. And if you can't agree with that,
wait, I can agree that it's taking longer than it should. That doesn't mean that you should get rid of these different regulations and programs. You'd have to
no, I didn't
specifically
say
tell
that.
me.
No.
Wait, but also the thing is, people need to
I
know
didn't say
how
that.
they can how can we cut corners? Tell me.
No, it's not about cutting corners. Is we need from the city all the way down, like from the plan checkers all the way down to the inspectors. We need them. We either need more staff. We need them to move faster. We need them to process plans and process blueprints faster.
We need more
to
fun.
get
We need more funding.
faster. And well, that's the thing. It's like, for me, it's like how down to.
Actually, what you just advocated for is more bureaucracy.
Well, no. What I'm advocating for is more housing. Is quicker housing.
Can you tell me
to
what
drop-
bureaucracy is? What is
Which
bureaucracy?
is ultimately, well, listen. There's a lot of different forms of bureaucracy in California. There's a lot of, I think, there's a lot of positions.
In definition, what is bureaucracy?
Well, bureaucracy, of course, it's government, buildings, protocols, offices, staff,
Employee
different.
staff. So you just said to hire staff, which would be more bureaucratic.
In
What
areas,
you're advocating
yeah.
for as an issue to the quote unquote bureaucracy is more bureaucracy?
Yeah. Well, listen, there are bureaucratic parts of California, I think, that are unnecessary. There are a lot of sides of California, I think, where we're spending money where we shouldn't be, but there are also parts of California where we should be spending more money on bureaucracy. Absolutely. It's not just across the line. It doesn't work that way. There are government.
So you'd have to be specific with where you're referencing. So can you name me any place in California where you'd want to cut bureaucracy?
Absolutely. Of course.
Be specific.
For one, I would love to cut a lot of the like on the government level, like high government level bureaucracy. I would love to see some of that get cut. I think there is a lot of I think there's a lot of positions that are in high government in California that, for example, like advisors that get paid more than the president.
Advisors?
There is for example, you have positions like the lady that was looking supervising the water district in the Palisades. She's making $900,000 a year to supervise the water in the Palisades. I agree with the position. I don't agree with the salary. I don't think somebody should be making $900K a year. So there are parts of bureaucracy, again, that I don't agree with. There is a lot of positions in California. There are a lot of government positions where they're making an absorbent amount of money, which it's not.
I just want to clarify. That's a specific local. That's not California specific.
No,
it's
no,
local
and I'm
to
just
the
saying,
Palisades because of the level of. Wait, I just want to say it's local to the Palisades because of their county budgets. So I just want to clarify. That's different than the state policies.
And to the people that's saying I'm cold, no, I'm not cold. I have Parkinson's.
And also,
I do apologize for the people that are upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone specifically who would be making fun of that, it's really fucked up. I think it's really fucked up to make fun of at all. And thank you for letting people know as well. So in terms of this, I don't see anything that says that they made 900K. Is there a source you could get for that?
It was like some crazy amount on it was like 750K and 800, like some crazy amount of money. And again, for me, it's not the positions itself that I feel like should be removed. I just think some of the salaries that people are taking in California that work in government, I think are a little bit crazy, and they're coming out of our tax dollars. I don't agree with that. Do I think we should eliminate them? No. A lot of these bureaucratic positions are very necessary. But a lot of these people are also getting paid more than the president of the United States, more than the highest position that you can have in government. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't see this anywhere. Where is this?
Hold on.
It seems like a propagandized source. To be honest.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna find it.
Cause I don't think anyone here would be like, yeah, they should be making $900,000 unless there's a specific like specialization that they would provide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know anyone in government that's making 900,000.
Let's see. I'm just pulling it up right now.
I know there's like one police officer in LA that specifically made like a shit ton of money because of the overtime and how overtime is set up. That's an
Yeah.
example you could give, but it wasn't 900K even.
So the general manager of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, LAWP, collects a salary, which I guess is private, but collects a salary of 750K a year.
It's a private job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
Well, I
so
guess
then, so then you would
without-
advocate for nationalizing that so that they don't have jobs that have that much pay.
I would definitely. I mean, I think people. First of all, DWP is a disaster. I think everyone can agree on that in California. So I think anybody that's making that kind of money and we're not seeing progress, I think it should be controlled or at least taken over by the state.
So more bureaucracy. Let's go.
In that aspect, yeah, absolutely, of course. I mean, listen, bureaucracy again. I think I'm all for it as long as it's effective. As long as we see the progress, right? Like if I'm seeing houses being built, of course safely, but at a quicker pace, and I'm seeing that the market is adjusting as a result, and prices are going down, that's a good thing. Then I'm for bureaucracy. But when I see it failing, and like I'm seeing it take, and listen, I build houses for a living. I recently built a custom home for somebody in Tarzana. It took 2.5 years to build, not because of our time, because of red tape and city and inspections and holdups. And again, I'm not against it. I'm just saying we need to be more effective at helping the people. And again, and I think that's what falls back into why a lot of people are frustrated in the state. People are frustrated with the prices, with the housing, because things are not moving quickly enough. And I think a lot of people don't want to see that replicate around the country. And that's what I mean. Like here,
a lot of people don't want to mention specifically what red tape we need to cut. I get saying the point of we need to cut red tape. I think we all agree to some degree. There's probably red tape that's unnecessary. We agree with cutting. But I feel like that conversation almost stops us having a conversation of what specific red tape should we cut. Because I think that's the most relevant conversation.
Well, for example, like how long it takes to get through plan check, for example. Like a lot of people, you let's say you want to build your house. You're going to hire an architect. You're going to hire an engineer. You're going to pay him some good money to get your plans going, to build your dream, right? When you go to submit it to the city, it can take a very long time. I've had people waiting for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months for plan check to even look at it, to even get them through corrections. That's too long. That is way too long. Like nobody should, like that's slowing down progress.
It sounds like your fix here is more bureaucracy, more hired employees, right? So that they can manage these different types of systems, because it takes too long to go through these systems. And you know what?
Yeah,
I actually don't disagree with you there. But then again, I really don't know how we'd fund that without having the taxes that California has.
Well, the thing is what, and I understand that California spends a lot on education and Medicare, Medi-Cal, and there is a lot of different layers. But we're a state that, and we also pay a lot into the federal government. But we're a state that also is collecting trillions in revenue, and I just don't see how we can't allocate.
The budget's $332 billion.
For what? For government?
Yeah, no, for the state government.
For the state, and I don't. But what's the total tax revenue? And that, you know what I mean? Like that's not enough.
The tax revenue would be very much around that.
Really? Like it has to be more than 300 million a year. I mean,
I'm pulling it up right now. Looks like. Hold up, I'm trying to see the full thing. One second. Holy shit, it's a very long policy, by the way, the budget.
I bet. California is a country.
Yeah, it's like essentially a country. Okay, so it's not going to tell me on the top real quick. So it looks like the budget is between 300 billion or so, around there, with like a general fund of like 228 billion.
So we'll say about 10% goes to government.
I would assume revenues around there, because I think there's a 12 billion budget deficit. So they've decreased the size of the deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like our revenue's around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And but ultimately, I think my point, because I think the panel is getting tired of me, I'm going to spare you. But I think my point is that, you know, again, I've been in California since 1996. I've seen it grow a lot in a lot of positive ways, substantially. I've also seen it decline in a lot of ways. And I think the general sentiment of a lot of people that voted on that side of the aisle is more emotional, and it's more that, you know, a lot of people are kind of being, you know, have been pressed down by, you know, we've been voting, right, for Democratic governors for decades. We're feeling it in a lot of different ways, and I think people are just tired, and a lot of people don't want to see it happening across the country to
wait,
themselves.
the solutions you just brought up were democratic solutions. Like Democrats don't disagree with the solutions you're providing, and I actually don't think you're much off from what I'm advocating for here. I think that what we need to clarify here more is probably what you'd see from a federal perspective. How do you see Donald Trump to create a better set of circumstances, say, not just for California, but for the rest of the country? Because I think when we're talking about California, we're losing a lot of people because we're talking specifically about California. I don't think that people are bored of our overall conversation. They just probably want us not to specify on California, which is totally fair. So let's look at the entire country. Like, in terms of those progressive elements, like what progressive elements would be bad? You guys would probably say like fiscal irresponsibility. Well, Donald Trump was less fiscally responsible, added $4 trillion more by signing it into law comparative to the Biden-Harris administration, and his campaign plans would do the very same thing.
Mm-hmm. And you don't think some of the policies that he put in place is going to help offset that $4 billion, like that? You know, I know that that's tied to the bill that just passed, but do you think that some of the like cuts that he's been doing is going to help kind of offset that initial, what is it, like, you know, the initial like thought that maybe we're going to be where we are in deficit, but I think, like, you don't think giving it some time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, to see where the deficit actually goes under his administration, you don't think that would be a better time to kind of judge him on that?
I mean, that might be a better time than now to judge him on that, but I think we have good enough reason right now to judge him that he's fiscally irresponsible, not only because of the big, beautiful bill that he passed that added $3.4 trillion to the debt and decreased after-tax income for the bottom 20% of income earners, but also pointing towards the fact that his first administration, he signed off on $4 trillion debt-related spending to a greater degree. Now, this isn't just COVID-related spending. Like the non-COVID related spending, he did more.
Mm-hmm. Well, and let me ask you this, and let's look at like looking at this objectively and taking a step back. Do you think that during his first term that he had, like, and given that he had no control of the of Congress or the House, that he really couldn't do a lot? And that he didn't have a lot of decisions when in terms of budgeting, in terms of COVID, in terms of a lot of the regulations that, or in terms of everything that happened in that first term. It wasn't really the same scenario. Whereas today, you know, he has full control, which, you know, I think a lot of the policies he's trying to put forth we might see actually come into play. I think back then in the first administration, we didn't get, you know, there was a lot of pushback. Not a lot of things got passed. And it was just a little bit, the climate was less effective. Like, we weren't getting as much done.
So in his first administration, if we weren't getting as much done, well, then it's likely that he would sign off on less debt-related spending than he is going to throughout the context of this administration. I mean, the big, beautiful bill added more than just the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did originally. $3.4 trillion added is a significant amount. Right. So like that's to start with, and Kamala Harris wouldn't have done that much debt related spending. So I do think that we can point towards Donald Trump being less fiscally responsible. And especially from our perspective, we can say, oh, that's not effective. That's like one of the bad things that people would associate with progressive politics. But it's actually true to a greater extent, specifically with Donald Trump. And I would argue that progressives should care more about the debt and should care more about it in general, because it takes away from our ability to pay for other social programs, because the lagging indicator of interest payments for debt. Like if we had a $1 trillion interest payment from our federal government perspective in terms of like our interest payment, that takes away from $1 trillion that we could spend on social programs, on education, on people in need, and that is very, very harmful towards like the future of this country.
And listen, I very much agree with you. I think fiscal spending is important, and I think on the other side of the aisle they should preach that a little more. And I think it would help it would help their cause, I think, to talk about it a little more, because you know, again, it's, and I'm all for, you know, higher education and more access for Americans to be successful and to be able to pursue their dreams. It's just that I think, you know, and with the pattern that I'm seeing is that one side of the aisle, you know, wants all these great things, but generally will sink us more into debt. And then one side of the aisle will preach careful fiscal spending, but they tend to do the opposite also. And I think we've been on a pattern of just excessive spending, pretty much, I think, since the Clinton administration. And it hasn't stopped. I think the last surplus we ever saw was under Bill Clinton. And I think after that, it was pretty much game over. And, you know, and honestly, as a country, I'm not, and it's tough. I'm not sure what, you know, how to get back to that positive, you know, space, because it seems like no matter who we elect, it's just getting worse.
Okay. So like I see what you mean by no matter who you elect, it's getting worse, but you should probably vote for the better of the two evils then, right?
Okay. Oh, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
Well,
so then if it's fiscal responsibility, it seems like Democrats are better than that. And, you know, you don't have to cut as many people off health insurance and food stamps, right?
I mean, ideally. Do you believe that that within like these programs, do you believe that these programs should be vetted?
Like, what do you mean? Like, I think that they already do have qualifications in vetting in terms of these programs.
Okay. So they, so in terms of like, so in terms of like fiscal spending, you don't think that there is, that there should be like, I mean,
Oh, like
you don't think,
audits? Oh, I think, for example, they should have
yeah,
to pass audits.
yeah, right. Well,
Yeah,
that's,
they should. Like, we have to pass audits, you know what I mean? They should have to pass
I
audits too,
agree.
especially the Department of Defense. I mean, the fact that they have trillions of dollars unaccounted for is ridiculous to me.
And thank you. And for me, and again, that's our money. And for me, it's outrageous. And again, I agree with you when you say you should vote for the better of the lesser of an evil. But I think we're at a point in this country where that's become subjective, where some people are seeing more evil on one side seeing more evil on another side,
That's always been
based
true.
on, yeah, and and I think that's just the balance we have in this country, and I think we just need to get to a place where we're having conversations like this openly, and we can at least agree or disagree in a civil fashion, and at the end of the day, we're compatriots. We're not against each other. We're not here to fight each other. I think coming together as a country and you know, regardless of what administration is in, you know, I mean, I voted for Obama. I voted for the first Biden. The first time Trump, went in for election, I went for Hillary. And this second time, I voted for Trump. And again, the reason being is, I think, is the sentiment. I think we're just tired. We're tired of seeing no progress, regardless of what direction we're going. I think anytime we vote as a country, we end up getting buyer's remorse, regardless. And you know, and again, regardless of us being at opposing sides, I appreciate you letting me on the panel and having and opening up the conversation. I believe it's really important for our country and for democracy in general.
I appreciate you coming up. I hope you keep listening to these conversations, and I hope I can change your mind even further. Appreciate you, man.
Maybe one day. Thank you.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. Everyone only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. We are just looking for some debates. We're going to go on to the next person here real quick. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen to help get out to more people. If you want to support me, as always, again, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description, the YouTube, as well as, again, you can support me over YouTube Super Chat and in the pinned comment here on YouTube. Let's go on to the next person. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on today, everyone. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on. We'll see. We'll see how much longer. Probably less than 3 hours for sure. Less than 3 hours. Oh, for sure. Youtube, I might split it up though, depending on whenever Dean goes live. Dean might be live later, so I might just have all the morning. But we'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like the stream. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everyone. Nico, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you. Shout out to your cat. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Alrighty, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen, everyone. Alrighty, everyone on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Is Dean your boyfriend?
No, I have a girlfriend. Do you support Donald Trump? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Sorry, wrong button.
Okay. Jesse, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet the set of criteria on the screen. Oh, criteria is not there. I got you. Don't worry. Alrighty. Maybe we should do a restart. I feel like I don't have many guest requests right now. I do think maybe there's a restriction. Should we hit a quick restart? I mean, there's 4.7 thousand people here. I only have like 12 guest requests. So. And it looks like it's people that have already sent guest requests. Most of them, at least. What do y'all think? I could just give it a second, too. I'll just give it a second and then maybe hit a quick restart if it doesn't work. Maria, thank you so much for the $5 for your favorite grifter. Thank you. Thank you. I need to get a Get Grifty t-shirt. That's what I need. We're getting grifty here. Yo, what's how old are you?
Did you check the Venmo for the people that Trump pardoned? The murderers?
I got you. I'll make sure to look. 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 I must have completely forgot to check it. Was there a Venmo? It must have been from before. Ah, shit. I would just say, hit me with a comment under the same one you already sent. And I should see it. And I'll click onto it. People send me messages. I forget sometimes because I go through the whole stream. But yeah. You know what? We'll hit a restart. We'll hit a restart because I don't think we're getting many guest requests. Everyone here, for the 4.6 thousand people, I'd really recommend to come back. I'm going to hit a quick restart. I'd recommend liking the stream once we get back, everyone. I would really, really, really appreciate it. We're going to hit a quick restart real quick. I would also recommend going over to YouTube. Parker did a job on YouTube. We had to hit these restarts practically every single day to make sure that the account stays safe. So make sure to hit a restart with us real quick. We'll be right back, everyone. Click on my account and click on the profile picture, and that should take you to my account. Tate, thank you so much for the $10 for Parker Gets a